If you're searching for a wrestling podcast that's filled with fun.
This is definitely Davey Boy Smith's finest fucking moment.
He goes, he fell on his ass. He fell on his ass.
Couple of haters.
Couple haters.
That's staying in.
Wrestling nostalgia.
I will take you back to May 26th, 1996. It was a stormy night. The wind was howling.
Latest pro wrestling news and rumours.
We've heard about the situations between WWE, Sasha Banks and Naomi.
And hilarious tangents.
Let's not tangent off. No Samoan spikes.
That's it.
Fucking tangents.
Then look no further. Join your hosts James, Stu and Jonny and subscribe to Top Turnbuckle Podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Top Turnbuckle Podcast with myself, Stu.
Hello, I'm Jonny. Good morning, good afternoon or good evening, wherever you may be.
And I'm James.
And right, we'll this month's episode we'll be talking about our top three worst storylines, our favourite Money in the Bank cash-in, and just discussing general shit that's been going on in the last month of pro wrestling circuit. And also, we are straight off the back of Summerslam, so we'll be discussing that at the end of the episode as well.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Yes, one of us here stupidly decided to stay up all night watching it live. Two of us are feeling quite fresh-faced.
Not too bad, actually.
I'm sure you'll figure out which one of us it is.
I can't even remember what fucking topics I chose.
Right, shall we go straight into it then?
Shall we? Yeah.
Let's go. Right, our top 3 worst storylines. Who wants to pick this one up first?
Well, I usually start, so I'm not going to.
Go on then,
Shall I go
off
first?
you go.
Right, okay. Right, bear me 1 second. Right, what one shall I go for first? I haven't got any, well, they're not in any order, so...
Am I the only one that does them in order?
I think you might be.
I'm fucking area.
I'm going to do mine in order this time.
Oh!
I feel like I should have now.
Oh! Pressure's on now, mate. Not like peer pressure or anything, but, you know.
Oh, no, I'm just going to throw them out there and just...
Go for it.
Maybe I'll decide later. Okay, the very first pick that I am going to go for is the Hornswoggle Macmahon storyline.
This is awful.
So, I'm going to tell you a story. And this story includes mystery, suspense, suspension, drama, explosions, murder, a billionaire, and the leprechaun.
Are we allowed to say that?
I wouldn't worry about the leprechaun. There was more worse stuff in there than that.
Yeah.
I love the way you do that, by the way, Jonny, because that just makes it so much more dramatic than it actually is.
I was so hoping you were going to go for it was a dark and stormy night.
I did think that. I thought after the last one, I thought I have to. I've got to carry on now. I might get a t-shirt made up. It was a dark, stormy night. Okay, so the year was 2007. Now, if the story had gone to plan, it could have been really good and much different. So, I'll tell you about the beginning. Vince McMahon, he was leaving the ring. He'd been on Raw. He walked to the back, walked past all the wrestlers who were all lined up, to his waiting limousine, which was waiting outside. Now, as he closes the door, boom! An explosion. The limo explodes into a fiery wreckage. The world was left thinking that Vincent Kennedy McMahon was dead.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Tune in next week. Now, this became such a story that the WWE lowered their WWE flags on top of Titan Towers to sort of half-mast.
Oh my God!
Fucking ridiculous.
Kidding me?
Yeah, they lowered it all. They mentioned it on the show and just like Vince McMahon's dead. What's going to happen to the company and everything now? Now, I'm going to tell you what the original plan was.
Go for it.
Now, the original plan was Linda McMahon, his wife, was going to be behind the explosion. And she'd be found out and she'd get arrested. It was then going to be revealed that Vince had another son who worked for the WWE.
Right.
This mysterious son would then take Vince's place, leading to a feud with Triple H over the company, which would lead to a match at WrestleMania. Only for Vince to return back from the dead and reveal it was all part of a plan to take full control of the company.
And do we want to talk about who that individual was?
What, the planned individual, the original plan? Yeah,
Planned individual.
The planned individual was Mr. Kennedy.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yep.
That is a massive, massive shame.
He was a perfect pick for it. He even had Kennedy's last name. Vince McMahon had Kennedy's middle name.
Yeah.
And there was an interaction backstage where they meet for the first time and Mr. Kennedy actually walks off like Vince McMahon. It would have been perfect.
Yeah.
What could go wrong? It was a great story, drama, mystery, a mid-card talent moving into the main event scene.
Great talent, to say the least. Kennedy was brilliant.
What could go wrong?
Well,
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong, Johnny?
Chris Benoit double murder suicide.
Yeah.
There we go. Just to point out the fact we weren't laughing at the fact what he did. I just want to reiterate the fact there.
You guys are making me laugh because not because I wasn't laughing, so I fucking knew what was coming.
Yeah, it's that.
So Benoit's death meant that the WWE could no longer talk about the fake death on TV.
Yeah.
So all they could really do now was just kind of move along and reveal the mystery son. But then, dun dun dun,
Dun, dun, dun.
Mr. Kennedy, the mystery son, is involved within a steroid scandal outside of the WWE, and he's suspended. Now, not only have they lost the fake death, they've also lost the main guy who was going to play Vince's son.
And we've also lost that key push.
Yes, yeah.
More
It's
than
gone.
anything, that key push that he should have rightly have got.
Yep. So, August 6th, McMahon's in the ring, leaves the building, exactly the same as before, pretty much. They redo it all. He goes to the waiting limousine in the parking lot, opens the door, about to close the door, and Jonathan Coachman walks up to him. Stops him and tells him that he's being sued and he has I can never say that word.
Start it again. just say it.
A son. A legitimate son. That's the one I'm going for. Working for the company. So they build this up for the next few months. There's a lawyer. He's giving away clues as to who it could be. Then...
Have you seen this?
Yeah, I've seen it. I'm laughing at your facial expressions again.
It's because it's shit.
It gets to finally all the wrestlers are in the ring, around the ring, up the ramp, and he's slowly giving these clues away. It's like a human game of Guess Who.
We talked about that, didn't we?
We did. Some of the clues involved: your son has a fondness for gold. Your son is extreme. Your son's skin is fair. And Vince starts replying, my son's Caucasian. My son's Caucasian.
So bad.
Finally comes down to Triple H and the Sandman in the ring. He then says your son likes to play the game. So obviously everyone thinks it's Triple H.
Yeah.
And that would have been quite interesting as well because Triple H is already married to Vince's daughter.
Yeah,
so how would they have explained that around the dinner table?
Well, Vince would have loved that because Vince, as we're going to find out, has had some really strange ideas.
Yes, he has.
You're kidding. When?
Wait until you hear some of mine.
Now, he likes to play the game, and that game includes hide and seek, Connect 4, Jenga, Twister. I can't think of any other games, but I'm sure there's a few. Hornswoggle. Hornswoggle is the mystery son. Now, Hornswoggle is the short person, aged 40 plus, but he's made out to be like a child. As the weeks go on, Vince would show disdain for him, his new son.
Shit, isn't it?
He starts putting him in matches or in harm's way.
Don't he put him in a match for the Great Khali?
He does, he puts him in a match for Great Khali.
Yeah.
He even gets put into a match with Vince in a cage, and Vince is just whipping him like a child with his belt. There's one example where he's in the back, and Carlito Caribbean Cool is in the locker room waiting for Hornswoggle, and he comes in, and who's more scarier than Carlito Caribbean Cool eating an apple? He's standing there eating one of his 5 a day, and Hornswoggle comes running through, right, and then Carlito starts chasing Horny, starts chasing after him.
You're doing a better job of hyping this up than they did.
Horny would then paint a black thing on the wall and just run through it. Carlito's standing there thinking, can I run through this? He runs through it, smacks into the wall. Yeah. His apple goes flying. Never to be seen again.
Yeah, let's not insult the intelligence of the fans, hey guys? No. Fucking hell. Do you know what? That's so much talent at that point.
I know.
Yeah.
And this is the best they could come up with.
And I'm still not finished.
Oh,
There's still more to come. The coach gets involved. He gets blown up in the ring with these fireworks under the ring or something. I mentioned about the great Carly and Vince.
Yeah.
And now JBL's got involved. And JBL actually finds out that Hornswoggle isn't Vince's son. It was revealed that Finlay was actually Horny's father all along. I don't know why I keep calling him Horny, but go.
We got easy and Horny.
We're only 5 minutes into this.
To be fair, Johnny. To be fair, Johnny, you've sold this miles fucking better than it actually is. It's so fucking bad.
So where was I? It was revealed that Finlay was his dad. And Finlay and Hornswoggle were working with the other McMahons to conspire against Vince this whole time. So after 6 months of this whole build-up, you would think...
Is that how long it went for?
6 months.
Yeah, and I was just about to say this. With all this build-up, I'll just bring this out, Johnny. With all this fucking build-up that they've done, it results in an opening match at WrestleMania 24.
Exactly.
That is as far as it goes. And it doesn't even involve Vince anymore. It involves JBL versus Finlay.
And Vince had removed himself from the storyline as far as possible.
So obviously he knew how shit it was after what? 4 months, 5 months?
You'd think Finlay would be like after the person who'd like belittled his son and got it all and everything, but no, he didn't want nothing to do with it. So he removed himself.
Can't imagine why he'd have done that.
Even at the end of the match, JBL won. There was no like.
There was no redemption. It was fucking shit.
It could have been, who wins custody of Hornswoggle match.
Horny got a trash can thrown at him. That was it.
Fucking shit.
Never mentioned again. The end.
Oh, thank God for that.
I think you put a really positive slant on it. Like, if I would have done that, I would have trashed the fuck out of it.
I've got nothing to add.
No, I haven't.
Nothing to add to that.
No, I haven't. The only thing that I'd like to add, which I thought was hilarious within the whole thing, and this is the only thing I remember about the whole storyline, is the Paul London incident where he's laughing.
Yes.
At Vince in the corridor. I think that's the most talked about thing that actually come out of this whole storyline.
Yeah, and he got in trouble for doing that because he wasn't meant to.
And then everyone at the time thought actually because he was laughing, Paul London was either the son or the killer.
Right. Jesus.
Oh dear. Yeah. So there we go. 5 minutes in.
There we go. That's one down. Who wants to go next? You.
Yeah. You go on.
Yeah, alright. Mine's a really quick one, and as always I do mine in order. So my number 3 pick is John Cena burying the Nexus. Absolutely fucking pointless. It wasn't needed.
No.
They had a great bunch of talent there, up and comings. That's one of the best debuts for a stable I've ever seen. Still holds up now.
When they came on Raw and just wrecked the place.
Oh yeah, Daniel Bryan got fired straight after it. Yeah. It was a brilliant debut. It was a brilliant feud that was going on, and the whole Cena burying him.
It was all Super Cena, wasn't it? Just he'd never lose.
The whole thing just came over as ego over talent.
I did see an interview a little while ago with John Cena, and he said he regrets. That's one thing he does regret is that storyline. He wish he hadn't won.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have won.
No, he shouldn't have.
No,
hands down. should never have happened. That was a feud that could have gone on. That is a stable that still, I think, still could have been active now. Yeah, possibly without, with all the cuts and everything that had happened. But that's that was a real good bunch of young lads that were coming through.
And it was the first time something like that had happened, I think.
Yeah,
I can't
absolutely.
remember anything prior to that really happening.
I can't remember a debut of a group of guys coming on there and literally tearing the ring up.
They destroyed the whole
they destroyed the whole set.
Yeah, and strangled Michael Cole.
Yes.
Which we all would like to do sometimes.
Didn't John Cena actually join the Nexus as well for a short time?
He was forced to.
Yes.
That's right,
that was the stipulations from the
Yeah.
match, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was forced to do their bidding or some shit.
I'm sure
then
there
there
was
was
series or something.
Then there was one Cena.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely remember.
Basically, John Cena was not allowed to. Basically, he was banned. I think he had to retire if he. I think he was a referee in a match against Randy Orton, and if he didn't call it. If he didn't call it Nexus's way, I think it was, then he was going to get, he'd have to fucking retire. So basically he come back and said, I'm not John Cena anymore, I'm one Cena.
Yes, yeah.
And it's just fucking awful.
It's painful to watch. Not in a physicality way, but I mean it is that
it's disappointing.
It's much like we've said for quite a few things before in the past. It's insulting to the fans. Their pop when they're on their debut was amazing, and every time they came on they had heat, but they were liked because they had heat.
I think Wade Barrett really suffered
massively.
I think he really suffered. I think I read something recently as well that the Nexus wasn't the only time where they were going to pull the trigger on Wade. They were actually going to do it. Do you remember, funny that we're talking about the Money in the Bank cash-ins later?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Daniel Bryan won it?
Yes. Yeah, I watched that not long ago actually.
I think it was Daniel Bryan. It might have been Daniel Bryan or Kane. It was one of those two. If you out there guys have heard this story, then you can correct me on which one it was. Wade Barrett was actually scheduled to win.
Yeah.
Right up until the day.
Yeah, that is the Daniel Bryan win.
Yeah, and they changed it because Vince weren't feeling it.
Because you also had Heath Slater was in there.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name. Short brown hair, very acrobatical.
Justin Gabriel?
Yeah.
South African guy.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
Yeah, Justin Gabriel. He was on a couple of those episodes of Total Divas. Season 1.
Let's not even go into that right now. We know your issues with watching that show, Jonny.
Does that go back that fucking far?
Yeah.
Jesus.
What's
he doing on there anyway? Who's he with?
Interested.
Well, now I don't know if he's still on there now.
No. I'm talking about when you watched it.
What do you mean when he was watching
Did you on fucking season 1?
He was he was dating someone, and then I think he had a falling out with Fandango over some woman. It might have been Summer Rae.
I love Fandango.
Okay, that's interesting.
I know it was Eva Marie, I think. It was someone. I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, you'll have to
watch
now.
along.
Well, you can.
No, I'm not. No,
you can, Jonny. You can watch it, mate. You just give us the highlights.
We've still got about 7 seasons to watch.
There's our first tangent. I've got nothing else to add. That's my first choice.
I think he could have become champion at some point if he'd been given the opportunity properly to.
Who's that?
Wade Barrett.
Yeah.
He should have been given it. The trigger should have been pulled on him basically, and he should have during the Nexus. The Nexus were really hot as hell at that point.
Massively.
And them having the belt and taking control of the belt would have been really interesting.
Yeah.
What is he doing now? Is he just commentator?
He's just a commentator.
Can he still wrestle?
Commentator.
I think he can still wrestle, can't he? I just
don't think he wants to. He had a dream apparently to want to commentate for Preston North End. He's a Preston North End fan.
Yes.
And I think that was what he went into doing. You know, when he left for a little while, I think he wanted to be, like on the website where they have...
like the fans commentary.
Well, not just the fans commentary, but like a website usually will have like the commentator for the club.
Right.
Doing that. I think he was that.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
He was happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I quite liked him when he came back as Bad News Barrett as well.
Oh,
a lot of people did.
Yeah. I've got some bad news.
I like when he come out and goes, it's me, it's BND. Oh.
Over to you, James.
Here we go. Okay.
2 down, 1 to go.
Okay, so my first one.
It sounds
I can't-
ominous already.
Because it is. Because it is.
It's a shit storyline.
Yeah, and my first one is the whole Dawn Marie, Torrie Willson, and Al Wilson love triangle. Does anyone remember this?
Sadly, yes.
I think this happens around about 2004. I could be wrong. Maybe
I think it was 2003.
Was it? Yeah, 2003, 2004. It starts off with Dawn Marie and Torrie Willson having, like, it's a bikini showdown, isn't it? What do they even call that? Like, swimsuit contest.
Yeah.
And Torrie Willson keeps winning and Dawn Marie gets pissed off. So, Dawn Marie starts going after Torrie Wilson's dad, Al Wilson, and it's just all about sex and weird, and it comes from the mind of Vince.
It wasn't actually her real dad, though, was it? I don't think.
I have no idea. I hope not. I fucking hope not.
I don't think it was.
But anyway, the story moves on, and there's just so much shit in here. I don't want to give it a lot of time. You know, where you guys have been like, yeah, this is, and all this, because it's so shit, right? There's one point where they get married,
On
and
SmackDown, they wear underwear.
Yeah, and they decide to get married. I mean, they say naked, you know, and it's an old man with her. And all it is just this elaborate plan to get back at Torrie.
Yeah.
And the fact that Dawn actually secretly has a crush on Torrie.
That's right, yeah.
And they have Dawn Marie and Al. I'm sorry to keep bringing this up, guys. They have like mammoth sex sessions and things. And this plays throughout SmackDown. And at one point, it gets all serious and Al has died from a cardiac arrest, and they even Michael Cole and Taz are laughing about it because it's so shit, even though it's meant to be serious.
Honestly, expecting anyone else involved backstage and the performers and the fans watching this to be taking this seriously.
It's just a waste of time, and it's crap.
Doesn't it lead to the wake as well?
Yeah, because they have a fight and the fucking casket goes down with him in it.
Yeah, and then she smashes something over Torrie's head as well, I think.
Yeah, and then
a vase or a picture.
It all comes down again. This is the fucking build up and the crescendo to this grudge match that lasts around about 4 minutes.
4 minutes too fucking long.
And it's
stepdaughter versus stepmother as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and Dawn Marie comes down all dressed in black, and it's crap. It's just crap and tasteless and shit.
It's that early 2000s Vince though, isn't it?
I've got another one of his. I mean, I can't actually place this on Vince because I don't know if he actually did this or not. It comes across the sort of thing that Vince would come up with.
Yeah.
Especially when I go on to my next one. But that's it, guys. You know, there's not much. I don't really want to give it a lot of fucking time.
9 times out of 10, we usually at the end of these top 3 segments go on YouTube, or go on the network and check them out. Don't fucking watch any of it. Don't bother. Any of these sections we talk about, don't bother watching them.
Yeah, there's nothing positive about this. It's fucking horrendous. It's actually it's torture for your brain.
This is the one and only time that I'm sending you out a direct warning. Do not fucking watch any of these. They are that bad.
I'm pretty sure I remember on WWE.com a few years later there was this thing going on where Al Wilson has been spotted, and each week or each month.
I think there was. It's fucking crap. And Al Wilson, I mean, why is he even like a figurehead in it and so important? But they had, you know, when they do the special memorials. And they have like in memory of name and then with the date. They even have one of them. And they have. I'm sure they had everyone in the ring. I'm sure they fucking did.
Did they ever carry it on after the match, or was it just dropped after that?
It was dropped. And because the feud, you know, this is a serious fucking live event. But the feud, according to WWE, is over after Torrie fucking wins.
So are they still stepdaughter and stepmother now?
Fuck knows, mate. I don't know. I think they just dropped it as quick as they could.
I'll go on Twitter and tweet Torrie Willson because
I'm sure
she listens.
I'm sure some fuckers on Reddit will probably still be talking about it.
I'd ask Vince, but it's a bit hard to get hold of him at the moment.
I'm
Allegedly.
Yeah. I'm done.
Right, back to Jonny then.
Back to me.
Number two.
Okay. Right, I'm going to go for Vince and Shane McMahon versus the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and the Almighty One. And I don't mean Bobby Lashley. I mean God,
the OG.
The OG.
Right.
God Almighty.
I'm going to start off by saying, as a warning, I actually like this, and I'm not actually going to go into my views on why I do, I do actually like this.
I am. I'm tapping out of this one.
You can just tell it, Jonny, but
okay. There is some actually funny parts to this, to be honest, but there is some parts that probably shouldn't be touched, but we'll get into them all. So I'll give you a little bit of a backstory. Now it's December 2005.
I thought you were going to start preaching the Old Testament.
Testify!
In the beginning.
Jonny's giving this way too much passion, all these fucking things, I tell you.
It was December 2005.
There was a big bang.
Bang!
And then there was light.
Not fucking much to talk about, really.
Sunday service was underway. Right. So Vince McMahon was in the ring, and all night on Raw he'd been watching Bret Hart DVD documentary, okay, throughout the show, and he came to the ring to give his review. That was going to be the end of Raw. He was going to stand there and talk about the DVD, the 3-disc DVD. Now Shawn Michaels come out and he was like, "You just need to leave this now. It's all in the past. Just let it go. Just carry on. Just stop going on about Bret Hart and the screw job and everything else." So the next few weeks, Vince starts using his power to try and intimidate Shawn Michaels. Leads to the Royal Rumble 2006, where Shawn's in the ring, but Shane and Vince just interfere and get him eliminated. Marty Jannetty comes back and is put into the Kiss My Arse Club by Vince.
I didn't know Marty was in there.
Yeah, he came back for a little while, for a special appearance. Stephanie even drugs Shawn's drink by putting some tablets in his drink.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he has a match later on and he's all over the place. And then the following week on Raw, they do a whole drug test in the ring. They have to check his urine and everything. And I think Shawn actually throws it in Vince's face at one point. This all kind of leads to their match at WrestleMania, which is actually not too bad.
It's really good.
It's probably good.
I'll just say it's probably Vince's best match.
Yeah, it's actually quite good. Yes, it's a really good match. So that's kind of the backstory of it all. And coming out of WrestleMania, Shawn's this like new born again Christian, and they start putting that into the storyline a little bit. Even before the match at WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels in the back and he's praying and he's saying that God is telling him to go out there and just give it his all. Vince is in the back and he actually makes like a piece of bread appear, a fish appear, and Shane's drinking some water from a bottle and it actually turns into wine.
For fuck's sake.
And then on Raw on April the 6th, Vince and Shane visit the church.
This is great. This is fucking great.
This is like the first time Vince has ever been to church. He walks in, he pushes the doors wide open, and he starts washing his hands in the holy water. Because he don't know what it is, he thinks it's just water. He gets it in his mouth.
Don't he do a Triple H impression with it?
He gets loaded in his mouth and stands there and goes, "I'm the game!" and just spits it all out everywhere. Oh.
Fucking ridiculous.
John, can I just say something really funny, right? That was a real church, and the people were watching because I listened to the Bruce Pritchard's thing, and Bruce Pritchard was going, the church people were too happy when they saw what we filmed.
Oh, God.
Now, Vince is sort of standing there, and he starts comparing himself to God. Like, God made Earth, Vince made the WWE, God created Adam and Eve, Vince created Austin and The Rock. And then Vince also mentions that he had a stronger work ethic than God. Vince said he will bring an apocalypse on Sean, and if he's lying, that God will strike him down right there and then. And at this moment, if you watch it, Shane steps away from Vince just in case, because he doesn't want to get punished. It's like Shane's thinking, you could do whatever you want to him, but I'm not getting involved in this. I'm just here.
Getting smited.
He then announces his own religion, Macmahonism. He creates his own 10 Commandments, and he gets a picture of the Last Supper, and Vince is in the middle, and he's got his arm around Jesus. Sean starts attacking Vince on an episode of Raw. Vince sort of gets away, grabs a chair, and the chair starts smoking, and then sparks start coming out of it. He starts running up the ramp, and like all the fireworks are going off. God's like just sending him all these explosions. Like, that's what God would do: set off fireworks when he's angry at someone. Have a nice time.
It's just fucking beyond ridiculous.
Do you know my favourite bit? I don't mean to spoil this for you, Johnny. It's probably in there, right? But my favourite bit is there's one time where he's doing like a fucking sermon in the middle of the ring, and he goes like, "The Father," and there's a picture of like him beating up Shawn Michaels, and then the Son, and then there's Shane doing it, and then he goes, "And the Holy Spirit," and there's the fucking Spirit Squad beating him up. It's actually quite creative.
Now we get to the match. Vince and Shane come out first. Then God, he has his own entrance. The light comes down, walks with him while he's coming down to the ring.
It's fucking stupid.
God gets into the ring, and Vince is making the referee check him to make sure he's got any foreign objects on him. The match was obviously a handicap match. You know, God really isn't there. Just in case you were wondering. Vince is like teasing God, like trying to get him to come in and fight him. End of the match, Vince and Shane actually win. I don't know who gets pinned. I don't think. God might get pinned.
No, God leaves.
God leaves halfway through the match.
He turns around and goes, "Look at your creation." He goes, "It's a piece of crap."
God's just walking away.
It's just a spotlight.
Yeah, but that's basically the end of the match. Yeah, Vince and Shane win. The original plan was actually meant to be Bret Hart was going to be Shawn Michaels' partner, but obviously it fell through and they went with God. So
brilliant!
Yeah,
why wouldn't you?
No replacement.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have cost a lot either.
No.
I've got nothing. I've got absolutely nothing for that one at all.
Yeah, we apologise for preventing anyone out there with that.
We didn't mean to.
This wasn't our idea.
Well, I was going to say, why the fuck are we apologising? We just came up with that.
Because we're fucking broadcasting about it. That's why. I think everyone's sort of blocked it from their fucking memory. I think we've just sort of opened it back up for them. The trauma.
Genuinely, I feel like an open wound's just been, has just happened.
Yeah.
It is one of those just.
To be fair,
absolutely fucking horrific storyline.
To be fair, it is kind of funny. It is. If you watch it, it sounds bad. But the way Vince does it,
when he's in the church with the water and the Shane stepping aside.
And he's so off his head. He's so over the top, and then mannerisms.
I will admit that bit is funny, but it's just the whole package. When you put the whole package together, you just. I mean, you two were pissing yourself laughing. And I was just sat here going, "This is bollocks."
This was I've seen it, and I remember it. Because Vince is so into it and shit, and that's what really made me laugh.
But that's just him though, isn't it?
Yeah.
This Vince, actually, I think, was my favourite version of Vince.
Yeah, it was mine. Like
different stages.
Like a psycho
He was
sort
crazy.
of. Yeah.
It was proper over the top.
This is during the DX Vince and the Big Show. Do you remember the Big Show getting involved in he sticks Vince's...
There's a Hell in a Cell match in it, and he pulls his pants down and Vince's head gets shoved in.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah. That was another open wound.
So that's my second one.
Right.
Okay.
My second topic is, again, it's going to be another short one. Comes from 2001, and it was the reveal of DDP as the stalker for Undertaker's wife, Sarah. At the time, sorry.
This
Sarah.
was one of my backup ones, actually. I was going to go for this.
It's one of my backup ones.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, like, the whole storyline, it was a bit kind of cringy, but it was done really well.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, it was done. I mean, if they were going for the full-on creepier factor, they fucking nailed it. It was really good. And the reveal of DDP as the Shocker.
I liked it when he took his mask off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like it.
Because let's face it, like, that character should have got heat.
It's never going to get heat.
It's DDP.
Everyone knew it was.
You know, this is a fan favourite.
Yeah.
From the dawn of time when he started his career, which was very late on in life for wrestling in ages, he was over. He was over in WCW. As soon as he took that mask off his head, the crowd went apeshit.
He's a very, very likeable character. He was known as sort of the people's champion, wasn't he, in WCW?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So for him to come out was in that incarnation was really naive.
That bit confused me, because he was like, he was that top star in WCW, multi-time champion, and everyone already knew that he was married to Kimberly, one of the Nitro girls.
I didn't get it at all. I thought it was absolutely shit.
Now, I mean, my issue is, and the reason I picked this is not because of the reveal, not because of the video footage to start with. It was everything that took place after the reveal. That promo that he cut for that, with the whole "I'm begging you, Undertaker, make me famous," that's fucking awesome. That promo was brilliant, but it was everything that followed.
It was just a one-sided beating, pretty much.
And his burial was just unforgivable. That absolutely buried him. He should have had a decent enough run. He should have had a decent push, because let's face it, he was coming to the end of his career. And you've got to give him due credit now, even whatever age he's in now, he's in phenomenal shape for his age.
Oh, yeah.
The previous appearances that he's made at the Royal Rumbles.
Yeah, I mean, he promotes fitness with DDP, yoga.
As we've said before, he's helped out a lot of, legends, Jake the Snake Roberts, Razor Ramon as well.
Buff Bagwell as well.
Yeah. Have you seen the photos of him recently?
It's ridiculous.
Looks phenomenal.
He looks like a politician.
Yeah.
I was confused though why he had that little teddy with him.
Yeah.
I didn't understand.
Although I did see a comment on there. Someone had posted it on another wrestling page, and someone had commented, "This looks like the sort of guy that would be on a Ghislaine Maxwell list." Not that I'm saying that it does happen.
We'll probably edit that bit out.
But he's gone out of his way to help us, some severely ill and physically, impaired wrestlers. And he is always a fan favourite, but everything that they did to him in this storyline was just diabolical. It was unneeded. It was a shit storyline for Undertaker as well. And let's face it, Sarah was not a good wrestler. She was a piss poor actress as well, because she had all the emotion of a fucking wet blanket, and
didn't she pin?
She pinned him in a press up position.
That was over a punishment. He was punished for something. I read about that. He was punished in real life behind the scenes. He'd done something wrong. Can't remember what it was.
So whatever it was,
have you got it written down?
No, I can't remember what it was.
It was punishment. Right. It was basically that she pinned him as a punishment on TV. That happens quite a bit. There's been a lot of that go on where they'll punish somebody.
But that ended his run.
I just think, in general, think the whole thing was bad creative
It was terrible.
from the beginning. I'd have never brought him in as a stalker.
No. He should have been brought in. He was, like I said at the beginning for this choice, he was a fan favourite from day one. And he always will be. Like, prime example, the last appearance that he made in the Royal Rumble, he had a massive pop. He is a fucking legitimate legend. And you fucking ruined him.
I think there was a way to bring him into WCW as a legitimate star without needing to go down that route.
Yeah.
I just thought it was
terrible,
shitty,
absolutely terrible,
cheap.
Yeah.
And it would never work again.
No.
I'm big on insulting the fans' intelligence, or not insulting the fans' intelligence. Everyone knew DDP was when he revealed the mask. I remember my reaction when I saw that. I was like, "Why the fuck is it DDP?"
My instant reaction was, "What?"
Yeah, I was like, "Why is it DDP?" It makes zero sense.
So many more people it could have been.
Like I said, his promo when he did the whole "Make Me Famous," you already are.
But from his character, I mean, not everyone, but a lot of wrestling fans obviously knew who DDP was, as we spoke before. And DDP was someone who was seen as working his way up the ladder. He was seen as... He was kind of like the Dusty Rhodes everyman.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? And it was just shit. It was a terrible decision to bring DDP. And it's not like they had a lot of big stars at that time from WCW because of the contract situations.
They could have put anyone in there though. The amount of WCW wrestlers that they didn't use who could have just been brought over.
You could have brought a mid-card from WCW or ECW or someone like that.
I'll tell you what they could have done. They could have not done it.
Do you know what? I was literally just joking about to say, don't bother.
Simple as that.
It never went anywhere.
Is it a push to put Undertaker over? No, he's already over. He's been over for fucking decades before.
Did Sarah need to come in?
Absolutely fucking not.
No.
I'm done. That's my number 2 pick. Fucking horrendous.
Cool.
Over to you, mate.
Oh God, I don't even know how to approach this one. I'm not going to give this one a lot of time, guys. Anyone who remembers this one will know how disturbing this is. This is the Heidenreich kidnapping of Michael Cole.
Heidenreich.
Heidenreich.
I hated Heidenreich.
Yeah,
fucking shit.
I don't know. I mean, you have to look at the creative frame. I mean, this is just awful. Now, I just want to foreshadow sort of where this come from. Okay, apparently, according I think it's to Heidenreich.
Yeah.
This was pitched as a dream of Vince McMahon's. And I mean, he come up with this in a literal dream that he had, sleeping. Basically what happens is that Michael Cole gets kidnapped, and then it's insinuated, and WWE have come out on many occasions when talking about this saying, no, it was just supposed to be disturbing, it was supposed to be that he was intimidating. It's not. They are insinuating, unfortunately, guys. And I'll say allegedly, but I'm sure everyone feels the same who saw this. They are alleging that he's raping him.
Yep.
He's basically got him up against the wall with his back pinned to the wall and keeps pushing onto him and going, it's just really, really weird. And
isn't he reading a poem or something? Because
he says I like you, Michael. You and all that. I can't even. Do you know what? I can't even. After picking this and watching it again, I can't even remember. This is how disturbing this is, guys. Remember what he says. I know it ends with a poem.
Yeah.
It doesn't go on for long, and thank God it doesn't. Please don't watch this. It's so bad.
I'll be honest. This is.
It's one of the most disturbing things. To me, it's worse than Katie Vick.
It's beyond creepy.
He never went. He never did it again, did he? Or did he do it before this? I don't remember.
No, I think this was a one-off.
I think he kept making. This is what I'm saying. This is where it's weird. He kept making eyes at Michael Cole. You know when he was in the ring, and they were insinuating that he had an infatuation.
dear.
It's weird. I shouldn't laugh because it's not even funny.
No,
and the fact that it comes from Vince, and he goes, "I'm so passionate about this idea. This is a dream I've had, and this would be brilliant on TV." It's really disturbing.
There are a lot of soap opera series around the world that have handled, sort of rape, stalking storylines and things like this.
Again, we have to be careful with that, Stu, because what they do is they show it from like a certain angle where you can only see from down shoulders up, and they insinuate it. Yeah. But I don't think it takes a long stretch to see what they're trying to do here.
Trying to do this for an entertainment value was fucking horrendous. It is just. It's so unnecessary. It wasn't needed.
No, I'm done.
It came off so bad.
Again, I'm not gonna. The thing with my ones is I can't even dress them up as being good. They're so bad that this is horrendous, and I'm done.
I never liked Heidenreich. Even.
I don't blame poor John Heidenreich for it though, Johnny. He was told to do it.
I suppose, I didn't
think paid for it,
I mean, I
think I'm right, but I'm sure Heidenreich originally was meant to be like a frozen soldier, a frozen Nazi soldier, being unfrozen and coming to WWE.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's something.
There's been a lot of stuff like this. Do you remember the Japanese emperor that was supposed to be reincarnated?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done. That's the most. Yeah, for me. We're talking about storylines here.
Oh yeah.
Bad storylines. For me, that's my number one on most disturbing. I think that I would really like to see somebody after watching that find something more disturbing than that.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Because everyone goes on about Katie Vick. But to me,
I think that is worse than the Katie Vick storyline.
So do I.
Much
Absolutely,
worse.
I think it's miles worse.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, that was one of the reasons why I didn't put that in mine, because I can't stand it. I think it's horrible.
Like I said, I didn't want to spend any fucking time on it. I'm just putting it out there because I cannot deny that it's one of the worst things they've ever done.
Absolutely.
I was actually going to go. I decided against it, but I was going to go for the Kane, Gene Snitsky, Lita.
There's some of that's quite funny.
There were some bits in there that were quite sensitive.
I've got an honourable mention at the end of mine. But
you talking about the one with the kick the baby?
Yeah. It wasn't me.
Have you seen?
It wasn't my fault.
Have you ever watched Jerry Lawler talk about that?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
No, he can't stop laughing.
No, he cannot keep a straight face for love nor money talking about that shit.
He goes and he got it. And he put it out in the football pump position, and he went bang, and then it was like,
Right then.
Oh dear, okay.
Our final round.
Our final pick.
Our number ones.
Right, well, this is quite bad. This is quite sensitive as well, this one, so I'll put a warning out there for people, just so they're aware. Okay, who better than Kanyon? So, Chris Kanyon, he worked in WCW as Mortis. He was basically a Mortal Kombat character that had been brought to life. He was feuding with Glacier, and I think there was Raph involved.
I forgot about that.
I quite enjoyed that.
We fucking laugh now, but that was actually that was quite sort of in fashion, wasn't it? That was quite a good idea on paper until we actually saw it.
Well, to be fair, they must have had to pay Acclaim a fuck ton of money to get the rights.
Weren't they in some of the episodes of the series? I'm pretty sure they did appear on some. So he did that for a little while.
It's terrible. On video, it's terrible. Sorry, go on, Johnny.
No, so I'm sure it was the Mortal Kombat series. It must have been around 1998. No, it was a bit like a sort of Channel 5 style, like Xena.
Well, that sounds already it was on Channel 5.
So after a while, they dropped the gimmick, and he became Kanyon. And Kanyon was like this fantastic wrestler. I've always thought he was innovative. He was well before his time. He was coming out with moves that like no one had seen. When WCW ended, he joined the WWE. He was involved in the invasion storylines. I think he was given the US title at one point by Booker T when he first arrived. And in WCW, he held loads of titles as well. He teamed with DDP quite a bit. They were tag champs. He won the US title there. I think a load of others as well. But he struggled with his personal life. And he was diagnosed with bipolar. And he had health issues and other things as well. And he kept his sexuality to himself as he was homosexual. But in wrestling, announcing that is something you didn't really do. You never told anyone that, really. Nowadays, that's not like that. You can, everybody knows everything nowadays in wrestling, which is the way it should be, really. So he came over to WWF, and after a while, he decided he was going to come out as being gay. He was going to be the.
They fucked this so badly.
He was going to be the first openly gay wrestler. He actually wanted his character to be a non-stereotypical openly gay character. And he told the wrestlers, and everyone loved it. They were all behind it. He went to WWF Creative, and they wanted nothing to do with it. They laughed in his face. Kanyon was injured for a while, and when he returned, he was using an angle on SmackDown that also included The Undertaker. A Kanyon would come out of this big box, which was meant to be a closet, with a big ribbon around it, which was in the middle of the ring, dressed as Boy George, and singing, "Do You Really Want to Hurt Me?"
Fucking kidding me.
This was the time when Big Show was trying to apologise.
Yes. To the
and he
Undertaker.
would give gifts.
Yes. Didn't Brother Love come out at one point, I think?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but he was his former manager, wasn't he?
He brought a dog out for him as well, I think, and some other stuff. So this would lead the Undertaker just beating down on Kanyon. And if you look at unprotected headshots with chairs, this is probably up there in the WWE history of chair shots. So unprotected, just smacks him in the head. And Kanyon later mentioned that he thinks this angle was done to embarrass him for going to creative and just letting them know what was going on and wanted to change his character. Rumours started spreading around on the internet about his sexuality. He then went back to WWE again after it was getting noticed, and they flat out and said no, it's not happening. So that he was taken off Raw and SmackDown, put on all the C shows like Velocity and Heat in opening matches and losing every time, and then he was released.
I didn't even know he was still there.
Yeah, he just got forgot about.
Yeah,
they just didn't want nothing to do with him. He's mentioned that he was released for being gay, and I'll just leave it there. To be honest, it didn't end well for him later on. He did struggle, and again, everybody struggles in life with certain things, whether it be work related, relationship problems, or just every day. It's not a nice thing to go down.
Keeping on that note, if there is anyone out there that is listening to us that does have any issues that they're struggling in life, or they feel like they need to reach out to someone, you're not suffering alone. We all have issues. All three of us here, we all suffer with
health,
inner turmoils, health and mental illness.
But there is people out there that can help.
We're here,
send us a message.
Speak to reach out to us. We love the community that we've got. We're welcoming new members every day at the moment, and it's brilliant. But if there is anything that can come of a subject like this last topic, just reach out to someone. Just
don't shut yourself away. No. There is always people out there that can help.
Yeah. So we're here.
Awesome.
Yeah. I didn't mean to leave it on such a...
No, it's fine.
The issue is when you bring up bad storylines, especially if they're going to be disturbing, you are going to... These sort of topics are the topics that are going to be in there.
Yeah,
because they shouldn't... They're distasteful.
No,
they shouldn't
it should
be
never
used.
have been done.
No, not at all. And the way he was treated, they was just to be laughed at for all of
it's
that.
barbaric more than anything else.
I'll be honest with you, Jonny. I'm quite interested in looking all that up.
I didn't know any of the end of that.
Not in like a sort of morbid way. More because I actually did. I did like Kanyon.
Yeah.
And I didn't know a lot of that.
I think he actually did release an autobiography. I'm pretty sure he did, or there was something. He may have worked with somebody or something, but there is stuff out there. But it is a shame because he was struggling.
I knew he had bipolar.
He was a very, very talented guy.
Yeah,
very talented.
I knew he had bipolar, and obviously that he died, but I didn't know all the ins and outs of everything. So there we go. There's not much more to be said on that, really.
My number one pick is pretty much along the same sort of lines. It stems off the back of a loss, and it comes from 2005, and it is the WWE using the death of Eddie Guerrero to further storylines. This went on for just short of a year.
Yeah, it did last a while.
Yeah. I've got a lot of love for Eddie Guerrero, and I think you'll be very hard pushed to find someone that hasn't.
No.
He was a hell of an impact that he's left on the wrestling world, and it's still remembered to this day, which is great, and so he should do. However, 2 weeks after Eddie had died, part of the storyline was that Randy Orton would crash his lowrider.
That's right, yeah.
And then pronounced to Rey Mysterio that Eddie, and I quote, "Eddie is in hell."
Was that done 2 weeks after?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a disgrace.
2 weeks after he died. Mysterio was then used the name Guerrero. Obviously he had the armband, which I'm not knocking that. They were very close friends. They've known each other for many years. And that pushed him for his Royal Rumble win that year. Or the following year, sorry.
I'm not going to say it was distasteful. I'm going to say that I just think that it was over the top. It was like it was all about that.
Yeah.
It wasn't about Ray's merits. It was about, Eddie, all that. It was everything. Like even I remember when he went to the. Do you remember in the backstage where they get the numbers?
Yeah.
It's like in a little. It's sort of like
for
you have the little
the tumbler.
Yeah, tumbler, and then the sort of plastic balls come out. That's and everything. Right. And even that was about it. Like he opened it and went, "Oh, Eddie," and looked up and played, and it was over the top.
Regarding that tumbler, sorry, we're going on the tumbler.
Yeah.
I actually quite like that. I wish they still did that.
Yeah, I remember when they first did that.
It weren't bad.
They did it. The first time they did it was about 89, I think.
Yeah.
Do you remember Demolition?
That's right. Yeah, because they got 1 and 2, didn't they?
Yeah.
The other quote that I've got for this was after obviously Ray had won the Royal Rumble was Triple H branding Ray's win of the Royal Rumble as divine intervention from Eddie. I mean, the whole Mysterio run was used off the back of Eddie Guerrero's name, and it was milked. It was just milked for a year.
Didn't they involve Chavo into it as well? When Chavo was getting annoyed that he weren't getting the recognition.
Yeah.
It was Rey Mysterio.
I think that was quite relatable, that part of it. Yeah. I don't think it was good taste, but I think with everything that had gone on before... Do you remember when... are you talking about when Chavo come back and he was annoyed with Eddie? Because not Eddie, he was annoyed with Ray.
Yes.
Yeah,
came into it as well.
Yeah, I thought that actually was quite relatable.
That I can deal with because he is he's a relation.
Yeah.
That could have been done, and it was done semi-tastefully. But to milk, from 2 weeks after the guy had died for a year, to milk his name, I just find it so disrespectful.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I would have never done it in the first place, any of that. What I mean by that, Stu, is because they'd already done it, I found it more relatable, like from a face point of view. That Chavo would be annoyed like Ray for doing it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Let's face it, if anyone was going to get a push out of that, then it should have been Chavo.
Then Chavo come back a little while later as Kerwin White? The white golfer?
Oh, yeah, let's not go there.
No,
that's what followed him.
I don't think I've got a lot else to say about this. I find it a massive disrespect to Eddie just for milking his name for so fucking long.
Orton has just come out and said that he feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Pretty much recently for saying all that as well.
Yeah.
I think what we have to remember is a lot of the time is that the wrestlers are being fed this. It's not always on the spur of the moment, you know, like it's not always on like the spur of the moment where they're coming up. I think they were scripted back then, or he certainly was maybe told to say that.
Yeah.
I know that Batista was told to say
it. He flat out refused.
Didn't he say it though? Didn't he go Eddie's dead?
Yeah.
To someone. Yeah. Eddie's dead.
Yeah,
I think so.
The quote that he would use was basically just reimbursing the fact that he was dead. I thought he turned around and said it to either Ray or someone in the ring, and he went, "Eddie's dead," as if to go like, "Stop going on," like a heel promo type thing. I'm sure he did.
Saying something, but I cannot remember.
I don't think it was just Randy Orton. I think it was Batista as well. I have to look it up.
Either way, this shouldn't have happened.
No,
shouldn't have happened.
No, absolutely not. I've said about that one a lot. We talked about that one a lot, and
I don't really want to go on about this one any longer.
I
think it's fucking horrendous.
It's good to see though that Eddie's son Dominic is still going well today. He's all grown up.
He is sporting a beautiful mullet. And
I'll tell you now,
tash.
I see
to an extent though. Can I just say so, because even this is quite. You know where we're still talking about him using Eddie?
Yeah.
Did any of you see last night that they were still using the T-shirts?
Yeah.
They were using the tribute T-shirts, but they had them. So they kind of look like the Godfather.
Yeah.
The different.
The black and white.
That's Scarface. That's right. Yeah. And they used them last night, and I always find it weird.
Fucking milked. Stop.
Yeah. I still
think the guy alone.
I think Dominic is going to turn on Mysterio at some point.
We'll get to that.
We'll get
there. Anyway, that's my number one pick.
Okay.
Back to you, Jones.
Okay, so my final pick. We're not going to go on the disturbing bit with my one. On this one. This one for me is my number one. Because what it does is it emphasises everything that's bad about booking a storyline. There's not one bit of positivity that comes out of this whatsoever.
At least we're leaving this last one on a higher note.
It's
slightly.
It's arrogant. It destroys a legend who's never in this incarnation has never been booed.
Yeah.
It destroys their next big star who's still suffering with it today.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And it's so bad, guys, that, and I'm building this up. It is so bad that Triple H has to come out on the Steve Austin podcast, which, if you remember, was on the WWE network.
Yes.
He has to come out and he has to explain why they did it and apologise to the audience.
That alone takes some serious fucking doing.
It's the Royal Rumble of 2015. Now, the year before, they had a warning of this. They had a potential... Well, really, their potential next megastar.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the making, because Daniel Bryan was getting over organically, and I've used this word, and you'll see this word come out all the time with me. He was getting over organically with the fans to such a point that he was getting pops on the levels, you could argue, of a Rock and Austin at times when he was coming out. Now, in 2014, they made the mistake of not putting him in the Royal Rumble. And this was a Philadelphia crowd, which is a hardcore audience.
Oh, yes.
an ECW audience.
Yeah.
Hello to our listeners in Philadelphia, by the way.
Yep. And in 2014, when number 30 went, Rey Mysterio come out and they booed the living fuck out of him and booed the rest of the match. They wanted nothing to do with it. Batista won it. Batista even got angry, if you remember, at the end, and started flipping the fans
was that
off.
the year that he got branded Bootista?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
yeah.
That's why I'm saying this is so bad. So, moving on a year, they have Daniel Bryan just back from injury. Now, I'm not saying that Daniel Bryan, from a creative and storyline standpoint, has to win this Royal Rumble. You don't always have to pander to the fans.
Yeah.
Okay? So, he has, if you remember, he has a match on his return against Kane. It's quite strange. It's a casket match. And it's to get into the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I think
And he gets in and everyone's excited. Now, this Royal Rumble, regardless of what anyone says, was only going to be won by 2 people. There were only 2 people who had enough momentum moving forward to win this Royal Rumble. And it was Roman Reigns or it was Daniel Bryan. Bray Wyatt made no sense. Rusev was not there.
Mm-hmm.
Kane, been there, seen it, done it.
Yeah.
Same with the Big Show. So the only 2 viable options to win, with a dark horse, maybe a Dolph Ziggler, who was scheduled in at number 30,
Yep.
Okay.
was those 2. So what WWE decides to do, arrogantly,
Shit on the fans from a gigantic height.
yep, even after the warning of the year before, is Bray Wyatt is extremely dominant in the ring. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's good because Bray comes in early.
Yep.
He's got the microphone. He's singing. You've got the whole world. I've got the whole world in. You know, and all that.
The whole world.
Yep. Thanks for that. So yeah. So at number 10, I believe it's number 10. So I can't remember if Ty Dillinger was in that year, but it's either 10 or 11. Daniel Bryan's music hits, and the crowd go absolutely mental. Daniel Bryan and him fight, you know, and he lost because basically Bray Wyatt's been throwing everyone out. I can't remember the number, you know, where they come out, but I think it was about 10 minutes later. I know it certainly involved Rusev.
Yeah.
And Bryan goes over and they double team him and they eliminate him. And the crowds just totally shit on it immediately because the insulting factor there is, guys, is that now we know who's going to win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we now know who's going to win. It's going to be Roman Reigns. Because there's no one else with the star power to move forward and win it. So creatively, this thing's a mess straight away.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he comes down about 18, and I'm surprised that he manages to make it to the ring. The crowd absolutely, and before this, he wasn't booed like that.
No, he was a face.
He was. He had one Superstar of the Year at SummerSlam. He was getting momentum.
Yeah.
If you remember, he had just come out of the Shield. He was just going on to a singles run, and he was starting to develop. He was sort of the henchman of the Shield, wasn't he? The heavy muscle.
He was the muscle.
And he was doing pretty well.
Yeah.
And there was something about him, regardless of whether anyone likes him or not. There was something
I'm keeping
there.
my mouth shut right now.
Did you not think there was?
No, I didn't like him. I still don't.
Oh, I do.
No.
I thought there was something there.
I enjoyed Ambrose and Rollins much more.
I preferred Ambrose and Rollins, but I could tell there was something there with Rollins. Pushing
the problem is I enjoy them more as because in the group it was a great dynamic because you had the muscle, you had the craziness and the promo, of Ambrose, and then you had the wrestling talent, of Rollins.
As a stable, they were brilliant. That was really, really enjoyable.
But if you remember, whenever like they did a lot of gauntlets.
Yeah,
I remember they did one against Punk, and the last person was always Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
He was the last person. And when Reigns used to, or someone used to challenge Reigns, he'd look across at him and the crowd would go, ooh, like that. There was something about the guy. Okay? So, he comes down and they boo the hell out of him. And the poor guy is only just a singles. Like, he's looking for that stock to rise, but what the company have done is they've tried to shove him down everybody's throat,
they always
and he's been rejected.
The reaction that he got, and I can very clearly remember this, is he may as well have just walked out with a Chicago state flag, and wiped his ass on it.
Yeah.
He was fucking done from the fans from the minute his music started.
So basically, moving on from there, making it even worse, as we said, the been there, seen it, done it, who are not really top stars, let's be honest, especially at this point, Kane and the Big Show.
Whoa, you're telling me that they're not up for it at that right old age?
Well, Big Show at this point is actually having the chance to please retire. Do you remember when he was getting
I forgot that.
And what they do is, anyone who is half decent in the ring, or anyone who the fans actually like or has momentum in any way, they literally knock them out, pick them up between each other like they're a human stretcher, the way they're holding them, and throw them over the top rope. And the fans are absolutely shitting on this. It's not heat, it's hate. It's legitimate. I'm going to switch this off or walk out. Right? So, it comes down to Big Show, Kane, and Rusev's on the outside. He's supposed to be a surprise, but nobody gives a fuck. Right? So, I think they're double teaming Reigns at this point and beating the hell out of him.
Yeah.
And the Rock's music hits.
That's right.
Right? Now, initially, when the Rock comes down, they cheer.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because it's the Rock. But once he gets in the ring and starts beating up and helping Reigns throw out Kane and the Big Show, they start booing.
Weren't there a chance of this is bullshit?
Yeah, probably.
I'm pretty sure I remember
it was booked so bad. So it comes down to they get rid of Kane and the Big Show. Then Rusev comes in as a surprise. No one gives a shit, and he throws him over.
Yeah.
Then The Rock gives like Reigns his seal of approval by holding his and raising his hand in the air. And as he does this, the whole crowd boo The Rock, specifically The Rock, who's like this Hollywood star, and The Rock is legit angry. Like, if you look at him, he puts his eyebrow up and looks at them as if to go, you dare to fucking boo this? But deep down, he knows his shit, right? So
we have that on good authority, because not only does Torrie Willson listen to this podcast, so does Dwayne. Cheers, Dwayne.
So moving on, the fans are legitimately getting rid of the network. They're going, I've had enough of this. This is so shit.
There's a chance of this is bullshit. It weren't just for show.
Yeah, you know? And everyone has legitimately now had enough of this. It was so bad creative that as a contingency plan, Triple H has to come out onto Stone Cold's podcast and apologise and say, guys, we're working on it. Let us work on it and sort it out. And then
someone at the back's just been fired, and that we know damn well that they've just shit the bed big time.
Well, it's Vince. Vince come up with this, and it was pure arrogance because he thought that he could shove Roman Reigns down everyone's throat, and it wasn't organic, and it didn't work. Yeah. And
we all know that John Cena promo with him, and he was right.
Yes.
So they come up and they have to sort this out at Fastlane, and they do it the right way.
Yeah.
They have Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns have. I mean, it's a very good match.
It is a good match.
Okay,
yes.
and Reigns catches him. Bryan comes up to him, shakes his hand, gives him the sign of approval, and says, go and kick his ass.
Yeah.
Meaning Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Now, here's my argument to why this is so bad. Why didn't they fucking do that in the Rumble? Why was that not done where everyone went over and Daniel Bryan and Reigns were there at the end? You didn't need The Rock, right? They went for 10-15 minutes because it was only down to them two.
Do you know what? I can tell
Reigns catches him, right? Daniel Bryan's annoyed at first, kicks like the steps or whatever, sweeps his hair back, walks into the ring, looks him in the eye and goes, "You got me," kick his ass, shake his hands and walk out, and you would not have got that reaction. You would not have got that reaction.
I can tell you exactly why The Rock was involved with it, because at the time they were doing the latest Fast and Furious 204, whatever number they're on now.
Well, then they need to...
Roman Reigns is in it.
Yeah,
he is, isn't he? Yeah.
Then they need to concentrate on their own product.
Well, it'd be money, wouldn't it?
They need to concentrate on their own product because they actually nearly derailed their whole product. Yeah. I've never seen it where everyone was actually going to say, right, we are switching off. This is so fucking bad. It wasn't hate, it was genuine hate and had enough.
Anger.
And on a slight tangent, that fucking film was shit as well.
I've only ever seen the first one.
Don't bother.
What are they on now, number 12?
What's this? Is this Hobson Shaw?
That was a spin-off of Fast and Furious. That's actually quite good.
Who's
it's funny.
in that one?
I had to have a look at the background.
The Rock and the Stafe. And Ryan Reynolds. That alone's worth it.
So that's my point on that one.
Yeah.
For me, that's the worst books thing I've ever seen.
Very good pick.
I couldn't understand any creative reason to do what they did whatsoever.
No, there ain't one at all.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Right then. So that wraps up our top 3 worst storylines.
Yes.
I've got
we've had some listener feedback for this section as well, for the top 3 worst storylines. So I'll just read a couple out. Our first one is from Jennifer Hearn. The worst storyline for me was the Mae Young pregnancy hand thing. What on earth?
I didn't mind it.
Get out!
Just didn't bother me.
Just pointless.
Sexual chocolate and
it just didn't bother me. I was like, whatever. They were doing so many crazy things at the time.
Didn't their son, the hand, come back a few years ago?
Yeah, growing up with a pair of glasses on as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the minority, obviously, but it's not
right.
like I enjoyed it. It just didn't bother me.
How old was she? 70, 80?
70,
170?
100, yeah. I'm pretty sure that on her birth certificate it's got BC.
Yeah.
And Mark Henry was 30?
Oh, God.
Something like that.
Do you remember the Dudley's fucking powerbombs?
Just thinking
that was awesome.
That was when she was pregnant with the hand. Yeah, it didn't bother me.
Chris Chantry, his choice was only for the fact that it didn't get brought up in the last podcast under strangest things that happened in the ring. Lita and Edge getting it on in the ring. It may not fit in as a full storyline, but reading about it and whilst watching it, it screams terrible idea.
Yeah.
After hearing about it and that it was forced on Lita. Did you read that?
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Lita didn't want to do
She
it.
was not happy about it at all.
Vince forced it on her.
Yeah.
Let's
do it.
That.
Yeah, so I'd totally agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rumour, I should say on that.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
That comes out.
Sorry.
That story's out there.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Please do go and do your own research. We shall also. But right then.
Okay.
So
that's our top 3's done.
Yeah. So our next subject is our best Money in the Bank cash-ins.
Money.
Here comes the money.
Money talks.
I'll go with this one if you want, so I won't be that long on it.
Yeah, go for it, mate. All right, James, go first on this one.
Do you know what? I looked at every single Money in the Bank, and
there's a lot.
Yeah. Well, there is, but it's still kind of, if you look at it, it's still kind of a new concept. It's probably the most modern concept they've come up with, actually.
What was 2006?
We haven't had a new concept for a long time.
2005, I think the first one was.
Yeah, It was cashed in 2006.
You're right. Yes.
New Year's Revolution.
Yes.
Or Resolution.
So you're both right, because the win was 2005, the cash in was 2006. Okay.
Schoolboy error.
Yeah, I looked at everything, and this is the most obvious answer, but it's the heist of the century with Rollins. It was done at WrestleMania. It was done in the main event.
Yeah.
The main event, as we just talked about, but it actually fits into my thing, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because the Roman Reigns thing was already tainted. Why not move away from it and go to Rollins?
Yeah.
He's got the money in the bank, and it was such a shock.
I was literally just about to say, could anyone see that coming?
Do you know what we should have done?
Yeah.
We actually should have seen it coming, but we didn't. No one did. I didn't see it coming.
No, I'd be lying. If anyone out there listening can honestly tell us that they saw that coming, I will call bullshit straight away. Absolute bullshit. Whereas now, since then, we're expecting it with the women's Money in the Bank and the men's Money in the Bank. We expect it literally straight away or at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult to assess how to do it. I think the one that we're doing, and we'll move on to this later, but I'm just going to quickly reference it. The one with Theory is quite interesting, because if you pull off the facts that he is actually inexperienced, keeps coming down at the wrong times. Like he come down last night and got absolutely trashed.
He got fucking mauled, man.
Beaten.
But I will move on to that later. But as I say, I can't. I'm not going to go on about it too long. I think everyone knows this. One of the most famous things, surely one of the most modern day famous things that's happened, and it's Rollins cash in at WrestleMania 31. Can't get past it.
Everyone always goes on about a WrestleMania moment happening in that pay-per-view, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was the WrestleMania moment, his cash in.
That was it, yeah.
And if you talk about, top 5s or top 10 WrestleMania moments, I defy anyone to say that that's not in it.
It was the way that Rollins sold it as well. The way he run down with it. And the way he did it, and the reaction.
Keep up with him.
the reaction, like when he holds his hands out and stamps his feet after he's done it, and
as well, standing at the top of the ramp and swinging that belt around.
He runs away.
Yeah.
Because you would, because if you remember, the story the next day was Lesnar was pissed. Do you remember he got suspended and he?
Oh yeah.
He come after him, didn't he?
Yeah,
that's right.
Big time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a great pick, to be honest. It is a great pick. I mean, me personally, I tried to stay away from that one. Yeah, straight away, that was my one.
It's not original. It's just I did the same as you guys. I looked at everything, and I couldn't get past it. No, I had to be honest and go, it's the best one.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Over to you, Jonny.
Okay, my one is from 2006. And it's Rob Van Dam. RVD, he'd won the Money in the Bank match, the second ever one at WrestleMania. He actually kept the case for 70 days without cashing it in. And like most other cash-ins, RVD sort of let his intentions known that he was going to be challenging John Cena for the title. He actually just came out and challenged him instead of trying to cash it in at any other point. The match took place at ECW, One Night Stand, in New York. It was a full-on ECW crowd.
It was a brutal fucking crowd.
Full-on passion. The ECW original crowd.
Just interjecting, it's the one time where I've actually really, really, especially in those early days, felt full respect to John Cena and how he dealt with it, because it was savage.
It was, the big sign.
It was a brutal fucking crowd. The chance of "you can't wrestle."
Yeah, it did so well to deal with that.
Well, he was taking his t-shirt off and throwing it to the crowd.
They threw it back.
They
threw it back 3 times.
And then there was another guy who grabbed it in the end, wiped his arse with it, and then threw it back.
Yeah, I agree with you there, James. Yeah, fair play to Cena. I don't think anybody else can.
Where was that? Was that in the Hammerstein Ballroom?
Yeah,
it was. Yes.
You had the big sign up saying if Cena wins, we riot, which I think they probably would have done. To be honest.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I'm not sure if they would have, because because I think we look at them as a ruckus sort of crowd and stuff like that. I don't think they're violent. I think they may have
probably
threw shit
20,
in the
30 years
crowd.
ago, I think we would have been having a different fucking story.
Yeah.
I think they would have threw shit in
that ring would have been full up of rubbish, bottles, everything.
Oh yeah,
I think.
And probably piss. Probably would have pissed in like a. That's the sort of thing they would have done.
Yeah. That place would have been destroyed.
We here at Top Turnbuckle Podcast do not condone the throwing of bottles of piss.
So Rob Van Dam was the hero going into this. Everybody wanted him to win.
Yeah.
Everybody hated John Cena. They couldn't stand him. Everything.
It's fucking true.
Every move, like every punch RVD threw, they cheered. Every punch John Cena threw, they booed. It was just full on the whole time.
It was such a pantomime, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not disrespecting the crowd there at all, but that was such a pantomime match.
Boo!
Boo!
At the end of the match came a guy come out with a crash helmet on, all in black, and he put Cena through the table. Took his helmet off, and it was Edge, because I think Edge and Cena had been feuding a bit at the time, and Edge was like WWE, obviously. The ref got knocked out, and I think RVD hit the frog splash, went for the pin, and Paul Heyman ran out and counted the 3 count. And Paul Heyman obviously is the owner of ECW and everything. And a good thing at the end was RVD was actually announced as the new ECW champion. And that's basically it. Short and sweet.
It was awesome. I love that match. The one thing that genuinely surprised me was not the whole, Edge revealing himself, but it was the fact that Edge was so well received by the crowd.
Thank you, Edge. Thank you, Edge.
They were loving what he did to Cena, and it was just because he fucked Cena over.
See, I'm not. I always look at things from the perspective of like being in that ring as John Cena.
Yeah.
And I will say again and reiterate, full on respect to John Cena for dealing with that. I look at other wrestlers and I wonder what they would have done in that situation, because that was a hostile as hell.
I remember when anyone else would have agreed to.
Do you remember the entrance where he had to hold the belt above him? He had to hold the belt above like that and walk through like that.
That's right. And the crowd were quite close to him as well.
Yeah, they were right on him.
Yeah. It ain't the biggest, it's, as far as wrestling venues go, it is not big. It's high, but it's not big.
It's tiny.
Yeah. But that's my one. I think shortly after RVD got in trouble, didn't he? And he lost the title. He
lost it on a Raw.
Because he won the WWE title as well. He had both belts, didn't he? I think for a short time.
Yeah,
I can't remember what happened.
I'm not. I
can't remember.
Yeah, I do.
Suspended.
Yeah, no, he lost the WWE title on a Raw. I like Rob Van Dam, but I've never fully got him as a main eventer. I just think
I preferred him in ECW. I liked him elsewhere, but not as a main eventer.
No, for me, it's not a main eventer.
Fuck off! I love him. Yeah, I love him. I'd have loved to have seen him more as a main eventer. I really do. I absolutely love Rob.
I think there was a window there about
2001.
Yep.
When he first came over.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get a lot of the ECW stars when we were doing the whole invasion thing. Everyone was booed. Everyone that came from WCW was booed. Everyone that came from ECW was booed, apart from Rob Van Dam.
He was cheered. Yeah.
They loved him from day one. There was a missed opportunity at that point.
Yeah.
Are you happy with yours?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah, that's all I've got to go with.
Right, so my pick, mine comes from New Year. Ironically, we talked about it earlier. You swines. New Year Revolution 2006, and it is the first ever cash in from the Money in the Bank contract, and it's Edge.
You think you know me.
This is, as he tagged himself as the ultimate opportunist, and I just feel like he set the blueprint for the Money in the Bank. It was the first one. It was something completely original. We'd never seen any of it before, and he set the standard, and I loved it. It was just purely from looking at the pay-per-view point as well. We'd had the main event. The crowd were cheering, this, that and the other. The match was over, it was coming to an end, and you do see people in the crowd start to get up and leave, up until the point Vince comes out and says, whoa, we're not quite finished just yet. And then we get the introduction of, and now the Money in the Bank cash-in.
Cena was busted open as well, wasn't he?
He was.
He'd been in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, and then straight away you get a fresh-faced Edge come out and do the job. Yeah. And then we get a new heavyweight champion. I loved it. Because it was so, like I said, it was so original. We hadn't seen anything like this before. Whereas, like now, like I said earlier, whereas now we expect cash-ins to happen like that. Yeah. Or, recent cash-ins where they've won it and then cashed it in the same night or a couple of weeks later or a couple of months later. It
was a new thing.
I think that what we need to see is we need to see more creativity with Money in the Bank. I think that's the problem. I think storytelling wise, there's nothing wrong with holding the Money in the Bank right up until for a year.
But I'd love to see.
Just leave it there.
Yeah.
I'd love to see someone cash it in the day before it ends.
Yeah.
Just milk it.
No one's held it like the whole year, have they, really? I don't think.
I'm trying to think of someone who's held it the longest. Probably Rollins held it, but he got to WrestleMania with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Does anyone go past WrestleMania with it?
Don't think so.
It's held in June, isn't it?
Yeah.
Must be Rollins who holds the briefcase.
Gotta be. Well, I'll look into that afterwards. So yeah, that's it's a short and sweet one for me. That is it for me. My pick is Edge, 2006 New Year's Revolution.
It's a good pick.
Nice.
We've got a couple. Just the one. I'm going to read out. It's from Lee Spicer. His pick was, my best cash-in for Money in the Bank has got to be the latest one, which was Liv Morgan, for a few reasons, because I think she fully deserved it, but because I'd fallen out of love with WWE. But once I heard this, I thought they finally got something right.
Yeah.
As far as recent, crowd favourites and, deserved pushes go, yeah.
I do like Liv Morgan.
I like her.
Yeah.
I like her.
She just comes across as a very likeable person.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, good one.
There we go. Yeah. That's our picks. Thank you very much for getting involved with us as well for the top threes and our best of and worst of moments. We do appreciate everything that you guys out there in listener land do for us.
Yes, we do.
Much appreciated.
Absolutely.
And on a lighter note there, James, how's your pizza?
It's very nice. Sorry, guys. Everyone else has eaten.
Does look delicious.
So, let's go on to our next one, which is, as always, we end up finishing up the show with top news.
Top news.
Bum, bum, bum. I feel like we need to get a little segment of bad news Barrett going, I've got some bad news for this.
Maybe I could sing the theme tune.
I could get someone to voice over it.
I'd like to sing it, I think. I'd like to sing it.
As we all know, we are fresh off the back of SummerSlam.
Fresh.
Oh, minty fresh off the back.
I feel the summer heat is still coming off it.
We're fresh off the back of SummerSlam. And,
we're fresh. James
we are. James is hanging out of his ass at the moment. He is proper tired.
I'm alright now.
He's alright now. He's got a fucking pizza in his hand.
I was fucking tired earlier, I tell you. I thought you lot was going to watch it.
How do we feel?
I thought it was alright. Yeah. I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay.
I thought it was good.
Had its moments.
Yeah.
Good, bad.
I'm going to say that the good outweighed the bad. There was a few bad moments in there. I will be honest. I'm going to get this out of the way first. That was my biggest grudge bear about the whole pay-per-view. I thought that Liv Morgan Ronda Rousey match was just fucking shit. It really was shit.
I thought it was too short as well. It didn't go long enough for me. I think maybe a few extra minutes might have.
It just felt, to me, it just came across as a burial.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Ronda turned heel at the end as well. I think she kind of has.
Well,
they didn't judge that very well then, did they?
No.
But she got an Austin type of reaction.
Yeah.
Because, not being funny, she had a legitimate reason. Again, don't insult the fucking audience. She had a legitimate reason to be angry. Liv tapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah.
But I'm sure we're going to get a rematch at Clash of Castle.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that this is going to, taper out into another storyline, and I have no doubt that Charlotte Flair is going to be involved in it at some point. But and also, on a whole, I was impressed with the pay-per-view. It was
I enjoyed it.
It was enjoyable.
I thought it was really good. I like the way that you can see the creative is starting. It's very small.
Yeah.
But you can see the creative team are actually starting to plant seeds for the future. So what I mean by that is, if we take, for example, Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch, first match, we've had this match now, how many times? 3, 4 times?
Too many now.
Yeah,
Too many.
Including like with Asuka involved
Yeah.
or anything else. We've had it a lot of times.
It's gone on long enough.
Yeah.
It's gone on longer than it should have gone.
So where do you go from here? And this is the thing that I think has been missing in WWE. Where do you go once you have this match?
Yep.
Do you just fade to black and then show an advert after Bianca wins? Or do you do something different? So WWE have got nowhere to go with Becky. Becky's just lost. So they set up an intriguing thing where Becky basically puts a hand out and you're not sure what's going on here. You're not sure if she's being honest or not, if she's going to attack Bianca, but she doesn't. So I noticed this, I told you when we were sitting earlier, didn't I? Yes. So one thing I noticed was, which is probably a little bit of a production issue, Becky rolls out and walks over by the announcer's desk. So I knew something was going to happen because she didn't leave, right? So then Bayley comes out.
Bombshell number 1.
Yep.
Right, so Bayley comes out, so immediately everyone's like, holy shit. At first, I think everyone thought, is this going to be another Becky Lynch?
Yeah.
I don't know if you felt like that. Do you remember when Bianca got buried last year?
Last Summerslam, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was wondering if it was they were going to do a deja vu.
Yeah.
But they didn't. What happened was then Dakota Kai's music hits, and Dakota looks awesome, by the way.
Yeah. Bombshell number 2.
Didn't she? I don't know if anyone noticed her new
she
look.
In phenomenal shape as well.
And then Io Shirai, apparently
Bombshell number 3.
Apparently now Io Sky. We did say this was going to happen.
Name change.
Yep. Which, whatever, if they're moving forward. And what I loved about this is it's a faction.
And it is a fucking talented faction at that.
So you've got a leader, and you've got 2 talented people behind her.
With 2 different styles of wrestling, I might add.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So you've got this style element of Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch, but then you've got these 3 show up, and they're outside the ring, they get in the ring, and they square up to Bianca, and now Bianca's outnumbered, and let's be honest, she's in big fucking trouble.
Oh yeah.
So Becky has got nowhere to go at this point, but this is why I like it. Creatively now, Becky, after shaking Bianca's hand, rolls back in the ring and stands with Bianca and stares them out.
Yeah.
Now we've got a story.
Yeah.
We can now move on something. Faction warfare, maybe we can have a third person.
Yeah.
Maybe an Asuka have to deal with because we got Io there.
Yeah.
Maybe someone like that. They're going to need someone else to help deal with them.
That third person is going to need to be brought in, but then you've got the possibility maybe someone else can be brought up from AEW. Maybe someone else can be brought up from NXT.
Possibly.
Yeah, of course. Could be anyone.
Yeah.
Could be anybody.
But now it's interesting. Yeah. Instead of fading to black off of a match that we've seen a million times.
It also gives Belair 3 new, fresh opponents as well, if they decide to go down that route.
Absolutely perfect. And that is the creativeness of Triple H. Yeah. That is what he's done. That's my example of why I enjoyed the pay-per-view so much. And this happens a lot.
you've like you pointed out there, you've got the the knowledge of NXT straight away from Triple H, having his creative point of view coming from NXT. He knows Bianca Belair, he knows Io Shirai, he knows Dakota Kai.
Was it Becky Lynch there when he was sort of running it?
I think so as well. Yeah.
Before his time.
So you've automatically got those, the seasoned ones that have already come up from NXT, in the, Belair, for example, and Bayley and Lynch. Now you've got two fresh-faced ones who are fucking ridiculously talented
but
wrestlers.
This is Wrestling 101. This is like how things work. Think of it like a production line.
Yeah.
You have a leader, and then you have two people underneath who learn off that leader. They stay mid-card for a little while, or interferers, and then eventually they may move up. You can do it a multitude of ways. You can either have one of them depose the leader, or naturally something happen where the group just splits and they go off, and they're powerful by association then. There's a lot of options here, and that's why I'm so big on factions.
Prime example from what you were talking about earlier with the Shield. You had Reigns as the muscle, Rollins as the wrestler, and you got the talker, which was Ambrose.
And that's why now it's a legendary thing.
Yeah, you've got that with them three already.
Yeah.
Bayley's a talker. She's great on a mic. She really is. She's great in the
ring. I do
like
Bayley.
But she is great on a mic. Dakota Kai, as much as she doesn't look it, she is a fucking powerhouse. She's much like Belair.
She's a very good striker.
Yeah,
she's martial
artist. She don't look like a
Yeah.
powerhouse, but she fucking well is. And then you've got Shirai, who is just an amazing wrestler. Absolutely amazing wrestler. You've got the makings of an outstanding faction there, and well done to Triple H for bringing that in. That is a perfect stamp
also,
to put on your first pay-per-view.
That was a statement of intent.
Yeah.
That was to show everyone immediately off the bat,
I'm here.
This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You can expect people who you may have thought have been released and you'll never see again. Yeah. When you do it in the first match, you're thinking to yourself, and everyone else must have been thinking of this, who's coming out as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you bring out two,
yeah,
you're going, here you are, fill your fucking plate. There's two of them.
But
come back.
To bring out
one
next.
Yeah, and now you're looking at other matches.
Yeah. And to bring out one, and then bring out another one, and then bring out another one, like like wow.
Because this is why I like the pay-per-view so much, because after that happened, I was then thinking to myself, so I was looking at Ciampa when he come down, and I was thinking, is Gargano gonna be the person? I thought it was going to be,
there were so many
AJ one.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be Gargano.
Yeah,
because
there were so many
sense.
rumours coming out about that because he's been putting pictures and videos on his Instagram lately of him training. I think it's going to happen.
I think it'll happen at some point.
It is going to happen.
Yeah,
but I think that's now because Triple H is in charge.
Yeah. Could you see Sasha and Naomi coming back now? Triple H is in charge.
I wouldn't bring them back.
No, neither would I. Anyway, we're going to
we're
not going in.
But no, it was a good opener. Good way to start the show.
We talked about earlier on, with other matches on there. I thoroughly enjoyed the Street Profits and the Usos, which takes a lot for me to say because I really don't like the Usos.
I was disappointed by this match. I thought their first one was better.
I will agree with you. Yeah, it was.
Really like the Usos, and not too keen on the Street Profits. I don't mind the Street Profits.
Again, I loved the creative.
Yeah,
I loved the ending.
Great. Brilliant ending.
Because the Street Profits, and you have to look at this from moving forwards from a storyline point of view, they've now been beaten twice. And
frustration.
Go back and watch the match and watch Montez Ford's face. Because Montez Ford's face is very hard to read. Is he turning into that sort of psychotic heel? Is he looking down and just going to break? Or is he just dejected? That is the sort of seeds that you plant at the end of a match to move something forwards. Because where do these Street Profits go now?
That is the closest I've ever seen, facial expression wise, to somebody matching Brian Pillman. That was an amazing shot, an expression of like frustration, anger, rage. He fucking nailed that. But as we did talk earlier, I've got to give props to Angelo Dawkins. He was brilliant in that match, absolutely brilliant, and he thoroughly deserves it. I know a lot of the talk is always about Montez Ford, but Angelo Dawkins was a shining moment for him.
He deserves the respect as well.
Massive respect to Dawkins for that.
I was a bit disappointed by Jeff Jarrett though. I know he was there because of him working for the company and being Nashville and everything, but I would have liked to him, I don't know, maybe even done a guitar shot somewhere along the line. just something, yeah.
Just calling someone slap nuts.
He did call someone slap nuts.
Did he?
At the start.
Really?
I believe so. If he didn't, he told them both off. He gave them a count of 5 and pulled them apart.
Yeah. That's what I was genuinely expect. Like you said earlier, Johnny, I was expecting a guitar to come out at that point.
Yeah, well, I thought it'd be something.
Yeah.
But yeah, even coming down on a horse or something.
I don't think they'd have been happy about clearing up all shit off the ramp.
Probably not, no. But yeah, one match that I was a bit confused by was the Judgment Day versus Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. Now it was a no DQ match, like anything goes. But they went to the side. It was a tag match. It kind of got a few weapons in at the end.
Yeah, this is weird, this match, because actually, from the way that I saw it, right, it did start as a tornado.
Yeah.
For about 2-3 minutes, and then what I didn't get was then both. I think it was Dominic and Damian Priest. It might have been. I can't remember. But then both of them got out of the ring and stood on the apron. And I was like, this is a no fucking DQ, guys.
It's a grudge match.
It's basically, reality, if this was real, right, and a fight, fucking Rhea Ripley would be up there as well.
Exactly.
You'd all be up there, wouldn't you?
This is my key point. What the fuck was the point of her being there?
I don't know. To me, she looks like they're pinning her as the leader.
Maybe they thought Rey Mysterio's daughter was going to come out as well.
Well,
Tuck.
Can we not get past this fucking feud? What's the point?
Oh, I just don't know.
Genuinely, what is the fucking point of it?
I don't think there's any coming back for the Judgment Day.
It's done.
They need a leader.
Judgment Day is upon them.
Yeah, it's done. I'm sorry, it's done. It's the most pointless fucking feud I've seen for the last 10 years. It's fucking pointless. I'm done with it.
I'll give you a creative then, right? What if
they just stop?
Nope. So I do think there's traction in it. What if Edge gets the better of them with whoever he wants for a little while, right? Celebrating in the ring. So obviously he got this Brood entrance. We'll talk about that because I thought he looked terrible, Edge.
I thought he looked terrible as well. Like Billie Jean.
He did look like Billie Jean. That's the first thing I thought when he come down. I thought he's got Michael Jackson's fucking jacket.
Honestly, there was going to be a...
Yeah.
Well, he ran out of his own clothes and got Shinsei Nakamura.
Here we go. This is
on guitar.
This is what I like to do when I look at something. What if Edge gets better of them?
Mm-hmm.
The lights go down, right? Lights come back up, but it's a spotlight. It's on the side.
Right.
Scarlett's standing there at Edge. Turns the egg timer over.
Oh.
Goes black.
Oh.
Don't have to say anything else. That's it.
Oh.
Then you don't see anything and Edge comes out for a promo. You don't talk about it for a little while. You don't have to do this straight away. So Edge comes out for a promo at some point. Maybe a month, 2 months down the line.
Yeah.
Lights go out again. Scarlett's not there this time. But the egg time is there and it's run out. Lights go out again. Lights come on. All the Judgment Day are standing behind Edge. And in the middle, with a suit on, in that sinister thing, is Karrion Kross.
Mm.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Have you read some of the?
He's the perfect leader
he
for that group because that was his whole shtick.
Yeah,
like your judgment is upon you. You're this. You're that. Remember all these vignettes?
Yeah.
He'd have Scarlett. He'd have the entrance. Triple H would be all over it because he's NXT. He made him champion.
He was brilliant.
Perfect fit.
Well, sorry, they were brilliant in NXT.
Perfect fit. Absolutely perfect.
The other name that I did read up that was dropped in there as well was the obvious one, which was Bray.
I don't think Bray would work.
I
think he's got to be a single.
I don't want him to come back in a fraction again. I want him to come back on his own.
I prefer him by himself.
Yeah.
I don't think we'd work with him in there.
No. So, can we lead on to some other good moments? The Survivor Series. SummerSlam, sorry.
The main event.
Is it
the
Logan,
main event was
Logan Paul?
excellent.
Fuck off. I'm not talking about him. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
I'm going to say two things. I agree totally with Stu. I don't like him.
No, I don't.
Don't like him one little bit. But I'd be lying if I said that he wasn't impressive. I can't lie.
I felt nothing for that match. Other than why the fuck are they wasting Tommaso Ciampa on it?
Exactly what I was about to say.
What a fucking waste.
Why is
don't
he dressed
think
like
they
the Miz? Just, you read my mind.
I think Triple H has got a plan in mind for all
I
that.
fucking hope to God he has, because he is wasted at the moment. Since the day he was brought up, he has been wasted.
I remember when he said if he ever gets called up, he'd retire.
We said that on the last episode. Yeah,
and,
I know.
Now look at him.
I swear to God, he must have known something was coming to sit this bullshit out. He must have.
He'll be fine.
But with Logan Paul though, now this Miz thing's kind of over. Hopefully,
Is it though?
What's
he
next
won.
for him?
It's not over. I'm telling you now, it ain't over. We're going to see more of this.
He needs to be.
Logan Paul's signed a
I
contract.
nearly
doesn't
said something that I
He
said
needs
I'd
to
never
be an
say.
attraction. He can't go on the roster. No one will accept
Hasn't
him.
he signed a full-time contract?
He has signed a full-time contract.
Money in the Bank winner next year.
I swear to God, if he wins that money, if he wins Money in the Bank, I'm done. I'm out permanently. I'm done. Fuck off. I'm not talking about that swag every
The
month.
issue with him is that he does bring a lot of viewers with him. That's the biggest issue. That why he could.
Which is why I don't get it. He's a fucking knob. Sorry. I know, it's just my personal opinion. I know millions of kids out there.
No, go for it.
I just don't understand why. He's a fucking knob.
I enjoy your rage. I'm eating my pizza, so just give me a chance.
Fuck him and fuck his brother. They're fucking idiots.
He'll be in next. He'll be a tag team.
I had a feeling he was going to interfere.
Logan Express.
Because he was on his own, wasn't he? Logan. I thought to myself, I can see his brother fucking interfering in this.
Do you know what, the one thing I did enjoy, because obviously that dickhead came out wearing that like the rarest Pokemon card in his first match, didn't he? And the Miz came out with a Polaroid of him slamming his face against the floor. I thought that was brilliant. That is literally the only part of that match I enjoyed. I don't care. I don't fucking care about him. I don't give a shit that he signed a full-time contract. I don't want to see him in pay-per-views. He's a dick. I don't fucking care. I really don't. I enjoyed watching Jon Stewart fuck John Cena over more than watching him in the ring. And Jon Stewart, he's a great comedian, a fucking brilliant host, but he was shit in the ring. Fuck's sake.
I think you have to have a word with Triple H about this, Stu.
Oh, mate, see, I will, honestly, Paul. If you're listening, fucking have a word. I know it's your father-in-law that signed the twat, but fuck me, come on. There's got to be a clause in there somewhere.
I tell you what, Triple H definitely looked heavily pleased about it on the pictures, didn't they? Have you seen the pictures?
Don't, just fucking rubbing salt in my eyes, mate. Fucking hell. Oh.
I know our good friend Rob Shepherd's excited about it. I read that last
Hello,
night.
Rob. Yes, I read that as well. Fuck Logan Paul. Anyway, getting away from this because I'm just going to go on and on and on and on. I know James enjoys it, but it's genuinely pissing me off. Let's go back to the main event.
Oh, what about Michael Cole? I quite liked his commentating. Who was it? What's his name? What's his name? The other commentator guy.
Corey Graves.
Corey Graves, that's it.
Oh, do you know, fuck him and all.
I can't stand Corey Graves.
Why is he... Well, I know why.
He wins worst commentator of the year every year.
Just because he's shit.
Yeah, I never have liked him.
I could do a better fucking... do you know what, actually? I'm looking at the first thing in front of me, which is a cola bottle fucking Haribo, and that could do a better job commentating than him.
Hasn't he been cleared to come back to wrestle?
Who gives a fuck?
Sure he has. Well, yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Was he a good wrestler in NXT?
I don't remember.
No, he was shit.
I don't remember.
He was like a punk version of again Randy Orton. Like this sort of bad boy version.
Bad boy.
Yeah.
So Michael Cole.
he was bad boy. He wore like cut off little fucking cut off like jean jacket sort of shit.
Exactly. Shit.
He had a mohawk.
He did have a mohawk, didn't he? Yeah.
And he used to lean up against Edgy against the fucking turnbuckle. Do you remember all this?
Yeah,
it's coming back to me now.
It was shit. I'm going to keep saying this every time we talk about him. It's shit.
Corey Graves.
Shit.
He's married to Candice as well, isn't he? Carmella, that's it, yeah.
We need a substitute, I'll do it. That's who I thought was going to be replacing Matt Riddle.
I would have actually watched that.
I'll do it.
I would have actually watched that. That would have been fucking great.
Anyway.
Yeah, Michael Cole. He was, Corey Graves went to him, I preferred it when you didn't have an opinion. And Michael Cole was like, he sort of went off, started talking about wrestlers and wrestler.
Addressing
fans.
the crowds as fans.
Yeah,
he completely he changed. He goes, a lot of things have changed since then.
Yeah.
And he even mentioned the Big Boss Man versus the Mountie from SummerSlam 91.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember him saying that. That was brilliant.
Yeah, just kind of like, it was completely different.
It's freedom. They've got freedom to talk about wrestling now.
They've got Vince McMahon shouting in his ear.
But yeah, I was...
you ever heard Mick Foley talk about that?
Oh yeah, he hated it, didn't he? Mm-hmm. Wasn't that the reason he left to go to TNA?
Yeah, because they put him on the announce thing and all he got was a load of fuck shoved down him by Vince.
Yep. Good old Mick, my boy. Let's talk about the main event.
Yeah.
It was
loved
excellent.
It. Yeah.
It was their best match, their best one. And hopefully their last one.
Yeah, I do hope so. I know
for a couple of years at least.
Yeah, I know it's obviously gone out with Brock obviously losing. The interference, that's actually the first time I've had interference from the Usos that I actually liked and felt was needed.
Yeah, it was alright, I enjoyed it.
Paul Heyman getting an F5 through the table, that was fucking hilarious.
It was just a spectacle, the whole thing.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Can we address the key element for this match though? The tractor.
The tractor.
Now, as far as wrestling wrestlers' vehicle entrances, that has got to be up there, one of my absolute favourites.
Didn't he bring it before? Was it a forklift last time? Back in 2003?
He brought a forklift that was that was a Judgment Day.
Was it Judgment Day? And he jumped off the top of it, didn't he?
That was one of his best matches at that point.
Yeah.
That was a hardcore match. Because they were saying about is that his first last man standing match. What was that match then? When he brought the forklift down?
Can't remember.
Don't know. Yeah, because didn't he hold the Big Show down?
Yeah, because I thought that. It's funny you bring that up, because I thought there was a Big Show match.
Because I thought that was going to happen last night, him holding down again.
Sorry to go on a tangent, but as you just said with the whole first last thing, can we just address the Drew McIntyre moment on the ramp?
Oh, yeah.
When he managed to fuck up completely. But I will give him his due credit. He recovered that like an absolute legend.
What's up?
Is that when he mentioned about
he said it was their first ever match, and it wasn't. It was their last. But he
No, he's taking the piss, wasn't he?
No, that was a genuine fuck up.
He was taking the piss.
No, he's taking the piss. It happens so much.
He realised. You could see in his face. He realised that he'd said the wrong thing. And then he was just looking around for things to go, and it's their first time doing this. And what's your name?
I thought he'd done that on purpose to show it was the first time.
Honestly, I think that was a genuine fuck up.
I thought that was a part of the promo. To go to the crowd, we're fed up with this. This is the first time in Nashville. Like that?
Yeah, I think it was just he made a fuck up. And you can see the worry on his face. He knew he'd fucked up.
But
he knew he said the wrong thing. But fair play to him for picking the kid out and asking his name. The kid's named Colt and he got a chant.
I thought as strange as that moment was with Drew, because I thought it was kind of strange, like the promo and everything, but I thought he did a fantastic job actually. I thought he came across as really likeable.
Yeah.
He's got to be fair, he's coming into home ground, he's coming back to Britain for the first pay-per-view in 30 years in the UK.
I just thought as a wrestling product anyway, like as a face come across. What I did like, because he's been bigging up this sword, I thought he'd shit on the sword. Because he went, I'm going to hold up my magic sword. Like that. I think he's fed up with that sword.
And he wants anywhere with him.
Yeah, and it doesn't do him any good because he's a hard bastard anyway.
He doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. But it's named after his late mum, so, you know.
Yeah, I don't think he's... because it's not his, it's Vince's sword, isn't it? Have you heard the story of that?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like something. Maybe you can sort of send it back to him now.
Shall we talk about a couple of other things that have been going on in the pro wrestling world?
We can do.
We've got the whole Summerslam one out of the way. As a whole, we were very impressed with it.
Yeah. Which now leads us to the Clash of the Castle.
Yes,
5 weeks' time.
Obviously we can't do. We're not going to do any predictions at the moment because we've got nothing on the card really. We haven't got anything, but we will be giving it a review because we're going.
Ta-da!
We've got Drew Reigns.
Well, we've got Drew and Reigns, yes.
They're already building that up. They said that at the end of the main event. They said, how is Drew McIntyre going to beat this man?
Yeah. So, I'm going to briefly talk AEW. I've got to be honest, at the moment, I do feel it's going a little bit stale. I am massively loving the Christian Cage and Jungle Boy.
Yeah, I've always loved Christian as a heel.
Yeah,
always.
He's always much better as a heel.
I've always liked Christian.
Just in general.
What's genuinely been really enjoyable to watch is an aggressive side of Jungle Boy come out.
The past week, the promo, the interview.
That last promo was phenomenal. I mean, the hairs on my arm stood up at that. That was full blown emotional. That was brilliant. However, my issue with AEW is blading.
My issue is they lack direction. I think the honeymoon periods for AEW is over. I think they're in a transitional phase now where the next maybe 2 years is extremely important in their progression to see where they're going to go. Because they've fired their big shots. They've fired their Omega versus Moxley's. All the big matches they've done. Now they've got to rebuild and come back up with your Wardlows, your MJFs and everyone like that. And I'm not sure.
We're still unaware about MJF we don't at the moment. It's all very, very hush-hush. But like I said, I mean...
and let's just interject in. If I was AEW, I would be terrified at the fact that Raw is now TV 14.
Yeah.
And MJF... if there is something going on, is trying to get...
going to happen?
Because if they lose him, they're in real trouble. I'm telling you that now.
Yeah.
They're in real trouble because he is their linchpin. He is the person who's kept them actually...
He's been there from day one and he is a crowd puller.
And he's the person who, if you go on YouTube or anything like that, he's stuck with Punk, he's stuck with Jericho, all that. That's the stuff the majority of people look up, I'm afraid.
There's 9 times out of 10, if you type MJF into YouTube, do you know what the top one that comes up all the time is?
Probably Punk.
It is.
Haven't they AEW taken most of MJF's stuff off?
But we're not sure if it's a shoot or a work.
Yeah.
No, that's true, yeah.
My issue is, and obviously where I do feel, I think we all feel that AEW at the moment is growing a bit stale, that they are constantly relying on blading and blood.
Yeah, I posted something about this not too long ago about too much blood being involved. I don't mind the odd bit of blood, especially if it's in a feud, and it can sometimes elevate the feud as well. But sometimes it can be too much, especially for example, John Moxley. Every single match that he has, he bleeds. Yeah. And I just think it's too much. If it's a pay-per-view, every pay-per-view, then I think it's fine. But every week, I think he wrestled last week and he still bled.
Yeah.
And I think he was on Rampage on Friday and he bled again.
I'm starting to feel a Goldberg comparison here, where he just bleeds at the touch of, at the drop of a hat. And I do like Moxley, I really do, but there is no need to do it for every match.
But then he does the other shows away from AEW, like the GCW and all that other stuff, and he bleeds for that as well.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's love for your craft, but it's not needed all the time. You've got some amazingly talented wrestlers in there, and don't get me wrong, they have been pushing these big names up. We've got the recent addition of Cesaro.
Yeah.
That's just been added to the Blackpool Combat Club. Great, that's a hell of a talent you've signed there. I'm now starting to wish that the WWE hadn't released him, and I think Triple H would have done something fucking magical with him, to be honest.
Yep, I agree.
Isn't he the Ring of Honor?
He is the Ring of Honor champ. Have you watched that match?
I haven't, no.
It's fucking phenomenal.
It caused that guy to leave. That
other
guy,
he put in his notice straight after the match. But it was a great match.
What does everyone think of that guy? Because I don't see anything special.
No, not at all. He's not. The only reason that match was phenomenal was because of Cesaro.
To the point of I can't even remember his name on this.
I'm struggling right now to think.
I mean, the standout match as well was obviously another Blackpool Combat Club was Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta.
Haven't seen it.
Great match.
I also haven't seen it. I haven't really watched the pay-per-view.
When we talked previously,
I can't watch AEW at the moment. I think it's crap.
When we talked about previously of stars in the making, I watched that match and tell me that Yuta's not one in the making.
Probably
is brilliant. He's really, really good. He needs a bit of work with the mic skills.
Yeah,
but
that's what's holding him back a little bit.
I think you've put him with the right people to do that.
Yeah.
If you're under the wing of William Regal, what better person to have as your mentor?
I like the idea of the Blackpool Combat Club, but I'm finding everything else stale.
One other match, talking Ring of Honor, and they're always brilliant when they work together, was FTR and the Briscoes.
I've never seen any of their matches they've had together.
You know,
no,
mate, you missed out.
I might have to go back and rewatch them.
FTR, hands down, I think one of the best tags of the last 20-30 years.
Yeah. Well, this tag team division, especially moving back to WWE, the tag team division needs serious work.
Yeah.
So AEW have probably got the advantage of that, but
they've got the massive upper hand there because we all know that Vince shit on
there was never
FTR.
Or
what what were they known as before? The Revival.
The Revival.
Yeah. In NXT they were pushed. And they were pushed.
You wanted them to dress up in those costumes, didn't you? Like Jokers or something.
They made them fucking shave each other's backs. And, like what the fuck? What the absolute fuck? And I'm pretty sure they actually joked about that on one of their recent promos.
Yeah, that's probably
they took the piss out of it. But if anyone out there in listener land, if you've never watched an FTR and versus the Briscoes, you have got a lot of classic matches to watch. Absolutely brilliant. Although one of the recent matches, I can't remember where it was from, but it was an indie circuit one, I think, where the Briscoes were taking the piss out of each other in a very aggressive style promo as they normally do on their farm, where Mark, I think, got knocked out on a table that is a solid oak door that his brother went to pick out.
No. You've got a lot more knowledge about modern wrestling than me, mate. I don't watch any of that.
He went face first into it and knocked himself out fucking cold. But they're brilliant.
You seen any of that?
I haven't, no.
Honestly, YouTube, watch them. They're great when they have matches against anyone else anyway, but when you put FTR and the Briscoes in the ring together, you've got an instant classic. They are fucking outstanding together.
I'll have to check that out.
They are so good.
You know what tonight is, don't you?
What's that?
Ric Flair's last match.
Oh yeah.
I'll give my thoughts. This is going to sound bad. I don't care. The only thing that I hope is that, well, two things. one, that Rick gets us out of his system, and two, that he comes out of the ring healthy. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all I've got to say.
I will give him that, but I genuinely do hope this is the last one. I don't know how many times I can watch a 102-year-old in the ring get in.
How many times has he retired? I think the first time was Bash at the Beach 94 against Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, and then 98 he retires.
And then Shawn Michaels.
It's sort of like a forced retirement.
But yeah, the only thing I'm really interested in...
I think he retired in WCW about 25 times.
Probably, yeah.
Weren't you also in Jason and the Argonauts? I'm sure he was one of the monsters.
Probably. But yeah, the thing I'm most looking forward to is the actual the video. That's well.
End.
The video, like, just the end. Yeah.
Fuck off,
the credits coming up.
Stay retired.
What's the card like for that?
The card's actually quite good.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
I
got,
haven't seen any of it. The only one I know is
there is about 8 or 9 matches on it.
I know that there is actually a card.
Really?
Yeah, like
I genuinely thought this was just a televised one-off match.
No, so it's a proper
full pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Who else is on it?
So the Ric Flair's last match card looks like this. You got Ric Flair and Andrade against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. You've got the Impact World Title match: Josh Alexander versus Jacob Fatu.
Who the fuck are they?
Jacob Fatu's
Alexander's great.
Are they?
Yeah.
And Jacob
Who's that? Let's have a look.
Jacob Fatu, isn't he related to the Rock and everyone? But he works in MLW.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I don't know who's any of them. Are you watching? Do you watch like Impact now?
Not really. I didn't realise he was on that. But unless that's just
sure.
Do you know who that is?
Josh Alexander, isn't he that guy? Like he's a wrestler with the ear protectors.
It's like Kurt Angle, but with the ear protectors.
Yeah.
He's honestly watch him, really good.
You got for the first time ever the Briscoes versus the Von Erichs.
Okay, didn't know that.
What tag team? Who the Von Erichs then?
They are related.
Yeah, sons or something.
Yeah.
I'm not
Have
sure.
you seen them?
No.
I haven't. No. You got a return grudge match: Killer Kross with Scarlett versus Davey Boy Smith Jr.
That might be quite good.
Yeah.
Interested? Yeah.
Tag team dream match: the Wolves versus the Motor City Machine Guns.
That'll be awesome.
A Triple A attraction match: Ray Phoenix versus Bandido versus Laredo Kid versus Torres.
Okay.
4-way match: Jonathan Gresham versus Alan Angels versus Nick Wayne versus Konosuke Takashati.
Apologies for our terrible pronunciation.
I don't know who that is.
You've got a ladies' triangle match: Rachel Ellering, who is Paul Ellering's Jordan Grace.
Jordan Grace,
the one
that's the whole
yes.
Benoit thing.
And Diona Perezzo.
Yeah, she's alright. She's average.
You've got a legacy match: Ricky and Kerry Morton with Robert Gibson versus Brian Pillman Jr. and Brock Anderson with Arn Anderson.
Okay.
NJPW Young Lions match: Ren Narita versus Yuya Yamura. And you have a bunkhouse battle royal. Okay. So it's quite a...
What's a bunkhouse battle royal?
It's just a battle royal, isn't it? I think
in a bunkhouse.
Don't you like win money at the end? I think or something.
I thought you won a bunk bed.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Fuck.
The winner gets to sleep over.
What was that bloke called who was in WCW? He's called Bunkhouse stuff, wasn't he?
Bunkhouse Buck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah,
he's like a dirty cowboy.
That's it. Yeah. He was
teamed
with.
He used to have Colonel Parker with him.
Yeah, he teamed with.
Yeah, they was a tag team. They were called something.
Dirty Dick.
Pretty sure that's a condition.
Dirty Dick Murder.
Dirty Dick Bruiser, I think he's done.
That's even worse. Sounds like a dodgy porn star.
I'm pretty sure that was it. Dirty Dick Bruiser, Bunkhouse Buck, Colonel Robert Parker. It's like the.
I'll tell you what. That could have been a fucking bad storyline. We could have done the Sherry one. Do you remember the one when Sherry was going to marry him and she got amnesia? Have you ever seen? Oh my god!
We'll save that for another one.
Basically, Harlem Heat and that team with Dirty Dick in it.
That's stable, weren't they? I think they were called.
Yeah. They have a match, and Sherry somehow gets involved and hits her head, but Colonel Parker fancies her and has made advances to her before, and now she can't remember, but she's realised she loves him and jumps all over him, and they go and get married.
Yeah.
And then Medusa gets involved and hits Sherry over the head, and she comes back to normal.
Yes. Yeah, I think I remember this.
It's like one of them little Las Vegas chapel.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But 1995 time, I think.
It's terrible.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the other guy.
The Dungeon of Doom should have been there.
Bunkhouse Buck. No, I've said him.
No, we said him.
Black Top Bully. That was the other one. Who was actually Repo Man, but with Black Top Bully. He had a red shirt on and a bald head. That was it. And
I can't remember him.
A Big Dick Bruiser. Oh, no, not Big Dick
I don't think he exists, Jonny.
Anyway, needless to say, the card for Ric Flair's last match is looking not bad, to be fair.
Interesting.
There are some good looking matches on there.
Each also featuring almost the death of Ric Flair.
Yes.
Which
hopefully won't happen.
Suicide dive to the other side.
God. So, we'll wrap up. Just like to say thanks again for everyone that's taken the time to reach out and get involved in our topics. And speaking of topics, it's my pick. So, for our next episode, our top 3, we shall be discussing our top 3 NXT title matches.
Okay.
Now, it can be any title, tag team, women's title, men's title, North American title, doesn't matter. Just so long as it is an NXT title. I think we've got some fantastic matches to choose from there. And
did the winners of the original NXT, the very first one, when they didn't have matches, they were doing the obstacle courses around the rings, did they win titles for anything? Does that include... That's not included, is it?
Well, no, we should pick one of them anyway.
Did they win a title? No, get the fuck out.
They won first place. Which
you can win the title. You can win the title for most ridiculous fucking answer right there.
I don't know who fucking won those.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I just remember Wade Barrett falling over a barrel, I think.
Oh yeah, Wade Barrett won one. I remember Bryan Danielson taking the piss out of it. Do you remember he was going around slow on purpose so to take him off? Because he was taking the piss out of it. He was like carrying the barrel and doing a dance going, oh no, like this.
Oh, didn't they have to stand in the ring another time as well and have to that might have been season 2 where they had to stand in the ring and get given words and one of them had a moustache.
God. Yeah, that's one of the worst promos ever. It's a tall big man.
He goes,
he goes, what is a mustache? He goes, it's hair on the front of your lip, and then he just stops.
That was it. That's all we could think of.
Yeah, and he was. It's awful.
So I'll go back and announce that once more. Our top 3 for our next episode will be our top 3 NXT title matches, and no, Jonny, that does not fucking include obstacle courses
or moustaches.
Moustache. Our best of moments. I'm going to pick our best Survivor Series elimination match.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
5 on 5.
Or 4 on 4.
Yeah,
5 on 5.
Well, they used to say teams of 5 strive to survive.
Yes. Ooh, very well remembered. And also, of course, we'll be covering anything else that happens in the pro wrestling circuit. Hopefully, we'll be announcing that Ric Flair survived and is alive and well in his next match.
I hope so.
He's been frozen and going to be waking up in 150 years' time.
Good God. I mean, what the hell?
I'd quite like to see it. That should be a good storyline.
Hopefully, by the next episode, we'll also have some stuff to talk about from Clash at the Castle. We'll hopefully have some matches announced by this point and we'll know what's coming up.
Yeah, we'll do one before Clash, won't we?
Absolutely, and then obviously the following month on episode 9 we'll be giving our review on it.
Yes.
So
we'll also have hopefully some good videos coming from the actual arena.
And I've posted on a WWE Clash at the Castle forum that's on Facebook. We're hopefully going to be, around the stadium at some point, and just, we're going to be reaching out to anyone that actually wants to take part in an interview. So if anyone out there in listener land, and tag your mates, this, that, and the other, we'll just shoot the shit about what's going on.
We'll have to get some T-shirts made up. We'll design our own ones.
We're all there with a big sign saying top Turnbuckle Podcast.
That has actually been thought of. Getting T-shirts for
we could design our own ones, pin, kind of felt it pins.
Just so mine just says get out.
Mine says a cold, stormy night.
James would say, I don't fucking care.
Pretty fucking much, yeah.
So, thanks again, everyone. Cheers for tuning in. Yes. And where the fuck did you go from that? Thanks again, everyone, for taking the time to reach out to us, get involved in all the activity on the Facebook page. Don't forget to go out there and like and subscribe to any of our other pages on YouTube, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, anything that we're part of. Go out there, subscribe to what we do. We do it for you guys as much as ourselves. We love everything that everyone else gets involved in. Thanks for everything, the support, the comments, you name it. It's so appreciated.
Yeah, just I ain't got anything to add, by the way. I'm just sitting here listening to you.
Oh, cheers, mate. Thanks.
Sorry.
Fucking carrying this at the moment. I know you're tired, mate, but give us 5 minutes.
I will say you're doing really well.
Thank you very much.
Doing really fucking well, mate.
Appreciate it.
But
finally, someone's joining in.
I thought I'd say something. It's been fun. It's been emotional as always. We've had some laughs. We've had some tears.
We've had some dark and stormy nights.
We have had some very dark and stormy nights. And also explosions.
Ooh.
Yes. But like you said, thanks to everyone for getting involved. I think we've got over 300 members now on the Facebook page.
Yeah, thanks ever so much, and welcome to all our new listeners as well.
Yeah, remember to share that page as well.
Share alike.
Wherever you are in the States or South America, Canada and Europe, the Far East. We're starting to branch out. We've got a lot of people from different countries all around the world that are actually enjoying what us three fucking idiots talk about, which I can't believe.
We're big in Brazil.
I know.
But yeah,
fucking brilliant, isn't it? Doing all right. But
just get it out there. And also the Clash at the Castle. Get your own photos and videos and share them as well. Let us see them.
And if anyone wants to design a couple of T-shirts for us, crack on. I'm a 3XL. But much appreciated as always, guys. And just to reiterate again, our next topics will be top 3 NXT title matches, no obstacle courses, Jonny, and best Survivor Series elimination matches. And as always, we'll be in contact and in touch on social media.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, guys. Take care. See you next month.
Goodbye.
See you guys.